So how do you want to start it? You just want to
We're recording.
get started recording?
Yep.
Dang. All right. So we're gonna do an intro, or we're just gonna start talking?
Go ahead, man.
Hit him with the classic. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to issues.
If you can survive 16 minutes with the Ebola virus, we will give you $1 million.
And can I talk to you real quick?
No.
No. Yeah. I guess this is the return of the podcast after however long. How long has it been? Because didn't we do it with Jonathan?
It was the last time a Spider-Man movie came out, yeah.
No. Was it? No, it wasn't No Way Home. Because I watched No Way Home with some other friends.
I'm pretty sure it was No Way Home.
I think it was Far From Home.
No, Far From Home was like when we were in high school. I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I guess this is the return. I mean,
No
no.
Way Home in 2022.
Okay. No Way Home was 2022.
Yeah, man.
God damn. I didn't realize it was 4 years. I knew it felt like it was a while, but I didn't realize it was that long.
I've been out of college for as long as I was in college.
Damn.
Yeah. But now
But
I'm back
yeah,
in college. No,
and we're back on the pod. We'll see. But at least it really, dude. Sometimes it feels that way. But yeah, so I guess we're back, or at least we're trying to be back. I'll take blame for letting it kind of fall through. Um, but I know you've been posting your polls. I got some ideas cooking up, so we'll see what's
I
going on.
fell back on those a little bit. I got real busy with school stuff, but
Uh,
hoping to get back into it.
so if it dies again, it's your fault.
No, why is this video age restricted?
Our video? Oh, you know what? It could have been because of Jonathan like threatening to like
No, it's
fucking
not
kill
age
Sam
restricted.
Raimi.
It's like one of my pull lists.
Oh, it's the Harley Quinn fart comic.
No, it's like Ben 10 Alias. Like what else came out that week? Like Gargoyle of Gotham. Like just show me where. Depicts suicide or self harm in a graphic manner. What?
Bro is like, I love this Ben 10 comic. I'm gonna do it.
Fucking kill myself, man.
We
What
got
the?
peak, and I never want to live again.
That's crazy. I didn't even know. That must have happened recently.
You
It's
think
from
it's their
June
AI
11th.
thing?
It's from June 11th. That video got released.
Well, they got you on 7-Eleven Day.
Yeah, man, that's bad. You're not allowed to do that.
On the Lord's Day?
Is it Firestorm? Is that why?
Could it be?
I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. I
All
might
right.
actually just leave it
Well,
because I kind of don't care.
anyways, today we are talking, brand new episode for a brand new day. Spider-Man Brand New Days out in theaters, and we both watched it. And how did you feel? Well, yeah, no spoilers, of course. We'll do a little non-spoiler section and then spoiler section.
I think it's very easily the strongest MCU Spider-Man movie. I think it has the strongest emotional beats. It kind of very well, like it gets Spider-Man more than the other ones do. Where
100% agree.
it's even with all the different characters and uh, all the stuff going on, the Punisher and Hulk and all this stuff. It's very solely centered on Spider-Man and Spider-Man's story, and uh,
Yeah, the
it
way
feels brought
he,
back.
honestly, the way he acted and everything, it definitely felt the most Spider-Man. Absolutely. Like there were moments where it was like I could see this being a comic page. Um,
They do like a
I,
lot of like the splash page,
Yeah.
or at least like a backup
Also,
panel.
yeah, yeah. Also, I love. Um, I think everyone did a phenomenal job. There isn't really any role that I was like, "Oh, you're kinda this kinda sucks." Like, I think honestly, hands down, I think this is absolutely John Bernthal's best performance of Punisher, if not for Daredevil season 2. I mean, he might do really good in Born Again season 2. I've not seen that yet. Trying to work on it.
He's
But,
not this good.
uh, I wanna say and I'm not gonna watch, the Punisher standalone thing because 'cause I've kinda heard that's, like at least from what I've heard, it's like everything I don't like about Punisher. Um, but yeah, no, like, you felt like because one thing I felt the MCU could absolutely do, and I feel like it shouldn't shy away from, and I feel like that's one of the problems with the MCU is that they characters age, people age, actors, they get into the role. Sometimes they don't want to do the role anymore, and so you have like a living, breathing way of interacting with this universe that you can't really, or that you could do with the comics, but Marvel doesn't let them do. So you could give the Punisher an actual character arc besides just like, oh, maybe I shouldn't just shoot every criminal I see,
Yeah,
which
on
he
that,
then
we mentioned earlier, No Way Home came out 4 years ago. 4 years
was it.
passed before this movie.
Oh my god, yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
I mean, I like I realized like now, yeah, that they like I was watching and I was like, I like that's yeah, I like how they did the like we didn't get like 3 movies of them showing off like how he's not being remembered by Ned and MJ, but you felt it still with how they shot it and how he reacts, and Tom Holland acts his freaking best in this.
yeah. Like honestly, it's the sort of thing where everybody's kind of on their A game, even people who don't
Absolutely.
have that much.
I would say
Like,
CEO Sets killed it.
yeah, he's married now, so it's the dynasty of sex.
Oh shit.
But yeah, it's one of those movies where just everything came together
Yeah,
just exactly
absolutely.
how you would want it to.
Oh yeah, I have some nitpicks, of course, but I mean, like, putting those aside, like, I think this is absolutely, like you said, like the best MCU Spider-Man movie. Um, like, I was actually thinking about it just earlier. Like, every, like you said, every member of this cast delivers it all. It's so well written. They're knocking it out of the park. That I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, honestly, like the idea to have Peter like for the past 3 movies, have Peter's like high school and like classmates be like supporting characters is such a fun idea, and it makes me even more frustrated how much John Watts just dropped the ball with that.
Yeah, it's
Because all we got was Zendaya, who turned out to be MJ by the end of the first movie, and then you got the iconic Penis Parker line from Flash, and that's it, really. Then in Far From Home, you got Vicky Vale, who's just like
Vicky Vale.
not not Vicky Vale. Betty Ross is it Betty Brant? Yeah, sorry, Betty Brant, and she's just not really Betty Brant. She's just like a blonde girl dragging Ned around.
They
Do
have a
they
fantastic relationship.
did they? I honestly I've forgotten.
Yeah, they do a thing where they date while they're in Europe, and then they break up before they get home, and it's
Oh,
kind of amicable. They grew apart. I mean, it's
oh, it's decent. Like as
it's like a
good as it
funny
could
enough
be.
like little background thing in that movie.
Yeah, okay. And then of course No Way Home. You've got really just Ned pushing his book, or not Ned, Flash pushing his book, and then everyone being like, "Screw you, Spider Man," or like, "Actually,
Yeah,
Spider Man, you're cool. Can you take a photo with me?" And
like it's almost like they wanted to do more with Flash, especially in No Way Home, because you have that scene where he gets an MIT and they don't, and they kind of snap at him. And like, no, we're actually friends with Spider-Man. We're the ones facing the consequences for his identity being released, and he like very visibly gets sad and like kind of like shrinks a little bit, and then like apologizes and like very quickly leaves the coffee shop they're in.
Yeah.
And
No, it's crazy. It's like, yeah,
you
if you
have a
just give him
character. Just make a character, and
yeah.
then he'll be a character.
Yeah, it is still crazy to me that, like, yeah, it's 2026 and the best depiction of Flash in live action is from Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It's and he's probably got, what, like, maybe, like, 10 minutes of screen time total?
not that. Not, uh, it's probably like what, a minute and a half for the courtyard scene. Uh,
'Cause you
maybe
have the
a minute
basketball,
basketball. Yeah,
and then you have the scene where
and
he goes up to apologize about Uncle Ben,
yeah,
and then, like, the graduation scene where he's like, "Hey, Pete, we did it."
I think that's a deleted scene.
Is that a deleted scene?
Yeah, I don't think that's in the final film.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I think in the graduation scene he just cuts straight to him talking with they go straight
Ant-Man,
up to Aunt May, and then Gwen Stacy's family comes over and invites him to dinner.
wow.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it was they really dropped the ball with those 3 movies, and I generally think it's because I don't know if it was, like, maybe Marvel, like, got onto him, or maybe, like, he just chickened out last minute, but because like, we can both agree 100%, the plan was never to have those 3 movies be the origin story.
yeah, because
Because like, the whole selling point of Homecoming was, like or not even Homecoming, like, Civil War. Civil War and Homecoming was like, "This is not a Spider-Man who's just starting out, you're not gonna see origin stories, he's established, and he is acting Spider-Man."
yeah, and in Civil War he tells Tony it's not exactly with great power comes great responsibility, but it's basically with great power comes great responsibility. So he
Yeah,
would have learned that lesson at some point,
yeah.
and everybody assumes
Just
Uncle
because
Ben
of
happened.
yeah, but we don't get any confirmation about that besides,
Well, who was Uncle
his
Ben? Because it's like his
yeah.
suitcase he takes to
It was I wanna say it's the suitcase, but also then there's that, like, one throwaway line, I think in either Homecoming or Far From Home, where he's like, "Ever since Ben,"
yeah, he
or
can't like do it. You can't stress her out like that. Yeah, Aunt May.
yeah.
And
Which
he's
also,
like,
like, it's not true. Like, at least with, like, comic Spider-Man, you can be like, "Yeah, no, like, comic MJ or Aunt May is, like, ready to
she's
drop at the, like"
200 years old.
she's ready to
Every
drop
other
at
story
the
arc
at
in classic Spider-Man is she like gets sick and gets hospitalized, and it's
the
everybody's like, "Well, Peter, she's a 300-year-old woman. You
Yeah,
have to be ready for this." And he's like, "No, she's
yeah.
only 400. It's she's so young."
No, yeah,
He,
like, the doctor's always like, "Why weren't you here with her? What's wrong with you?" And he's like, I went to
yeah,
school."
yeah, they do all that stuff with you should have been here. She's like in the ER right now. She's in surgery, and he beats himself up about it. And at the end of the story, she's perfectly fine.
Yeah, she's like, "It was just a tonsil thing."
it's it was just a cold. So
Yeah, the comic book.
60s medical technology. And then he's like, "Well, isn't that swell? Let's go back to my argyle vest and let's go get a smoothie with Gwen Stacy, who hates Spider-Man. Can't ever tell her. Can't ever tell her."
But I will have a prosperous and loving relationship with her for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and then 4 days later, Aunt May falls again, and
Yeah,
she's
and then
running
Gwen
out of the
Stacy
hospital.
does.
And
But no, it's yeah, no, because it's like that's one thing, but yeah, with Marissa Tomei, especially with, like, Far From Home and No Way Home, even, like, Homecoming, I'd argue, it's very obvious that, like, she's fine.
yeah, she is like a normal age to be the aunt of a high schooler.
I don't even mean that, I just mean, like, we can't stress her out, and it's like, she handles it probably better than anyone else in his, like, friend group,
Yeah, she's
which
especially with a flashback we get in this movie. Like she's just kind of always there for Peter and is very willing to fight for him. And even in No Way Home, when they all get arrested, she's still backing
yeah,
for him. She never skips a beat. Uh,
yeah,
but
which, I mean, I will say, like, she does the best that she can do. Because again, I feel like those scripts kind of just mid. Um, like,
I don't
she
think the
wasn't
problem. I don't think the actors have ever been the problem in except for James Franco.
Absolutely.
God rest his soul. He died too soon. We never got to know him. Uh, he died before anybody ever figured out what kind of man he is.
Really riding this
Whatever.
train,
Maybe that
brother.
guy. Maybe that guy.
I will say, all right, so actually, let's get back onto the film. Yeah, I realize we've been on a tangent. Um, but yeah, no, everyone does a great job. If you enjoyed the last three, you're absolutely gonna love this one.
Yeah.
And even if you didn't enjoy those, I think if you really do like Spider-Man, you will still enjoy this.
Mm.
Um, be careful for spoilers because I will admit I was spoiled literally opening night of like the early showings, like Wednesday night. Was it Wednesday or Thursday? Yesterday was Thursday.
Yeah, it came out Thursday.
Yeah, so Wednesday
That's when
night
I
I got a
saw it.
spoiler. Wednesday night I got a spoiler. And it made me upset. It didn't ruin the movie for me. But just if you want to watch it as soon as possible to avoid spoilers, that would be the best case. If not, be ready. Twitter and
Yeah,
Blue Sky and Facebook will be chatting about it for sure.
it's crazy how many people are saying this so soon.
No,
The
literally,
Thursday
literally,
showings, like every single
I
one was full. And there were
I
like
was like not.
50 showings at just the theater near me.
I was like not even just that. Today alone, I have seen someone post the entire movie onto Twitter.
Those will always happen.
Yeah, but
Just
I'm just like,
the amount of
I'm like, how?
people buying tickets and going to see this movie.
Oh yeah,
We're like,
I think it's because we've had this 4 year gap.
I mean, maybe, but also just like I'm comparing it to Supergirl, where I get it. Supergirl is a less popular character, but there was like maybe five showings the Thursday it came out. Me and my dad went to see it, and it was kind of like a half full theater.
You know what it is?
And this one's got 10 times as much. All of it are full. Uh,
I think it's two factors for that. I think one, it's DC, and a lot of people still don't understand that this is like a new age for DC, let alone uh, like the good that is DC Comics. Like they're still like, oh, like the Justice League? No, thank you. And it's like, no, 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 that's garbage. No one likes that. This is new good stuff. And then two, I mean, realistically, let's be real here. It's Supergirl. As great of the comic it is, as great as the movie it was, you're still gonna have some people be like, well, that's a girl. I'm not gonna watch that. And it's like, really? That's what you're. It's the same kind of guys who are like, I'm not watching Barbie, and it's like you're missing out on cinema.
but also like I saw it. My showing was 12:40 on Thursday. People aren't working, and there were shows
I,
starting like every 10 minutes, and those were all full too. Like, did productivity half yesterday?
probably. I think a lot of people did like because this movie has been built up for a while, as well as like just I think a lot of like I said, like everyone across the board was kind of hyped for this movie. Like people who liked the previous three and people who didn't like the previous three, because like the way No Way Home ended, people were like, oh okay, we're actually gonna get Spider-Man finally, and so people are wanting to go see it for this movie. Like I don't think respectfully to the guest appearances throughout the film, I don't think people were coming to go watch, another John Bernthal scream as he shoots a gun. Um,
Agreed. Punisher
I
fans would show up to a movie just for that. Also, Hulk
yeah,
fans
all 12 of
starved,
them.
so they'll show up
True, true.
because for
I
whatever
will
reason
say
they will never make a solo Hulk project.
it's like, yeah. Well, because it's like the first two movies I don't think did well. I think they kind of flopped.
I think the
Um,
Edward Norton one did fine.
I think it did fine, but I think like
Uh,
I don't think it did as good as they wanted it to. And then also like I think the deal with Marvel is like every time they use them, that still counts for their deal. So they're like, why would we risk making a Hulk movie when you're doing it for us? Like you're keeping it alive on our end. so we have no reason to jeopardize it by making like an even more horrible film,
You know, the Edward
which is a
Nortons
shame.
make money.
But I don't know. They're lazy. Hollywood doesn't want to actually make like a movie about trauma and abuse because the last time they did, honestly, it's crazy because actually now as I was saying it, like every horror movie in the past like 2 years have been about trauma and abuse, and it's like, yeah, just honestly like make a horror Hulk film,
And
which kind of what
the
the Ang Lee was.
also kind of
It
this
was just
movie could kind of lead into that.
it really could the way Hulk was handled. I think that's a good non-spoilerly section to kind of leave on. So
Yeah.
because I want to start talking details. So
Also, to
warning,
start it out, what did you get spoiled?
that is well, hold on. So yeah, warning, we're gonna start spoilers. If you have not seen it, stop watching, go watch it, come back. Um, so spoiler warning, three, two, one. I got spoiled that Sadie Sink was Jean Grey.
That had been leaked like 80 years ago.
Well,
And then
the
House of
theory
the
was that
Haunted
she was
came out, and that was in the credits,
Jean. I heard her was Jean Grey, and I was like, that would be stupid. They're not gonna make her Jean Grey.
and it wasn't
Um,
stupid.
I think it absolutely still was.
No,
I I don't like her as Jean Grey. Um, I will go into
you're
that.
just not a Gene enjoyer, bro.
I I'm like probably one of like four Gene enjoyers in the X Men community, brother. The amount of times I've seen people who are absolutely are like, stop bringing her back, kill the bitch, like leave her in the ground, and I'm like, I don't know, I think there's kind of
Hey, some
potential to
of those are
tell.
Gene enjoyers.
True, yeah,
I enjoy me some
but
Wolverine. Should have left him a statue.
that's an
Leaked a
interesting
lot
take.
longer than it was.
Sure, okay, yeah, okay, but uh, yeah, I So, of course, we have the whole like police side, him swinging around. I saw someone say that this is the best web slinging we've ever seen. I think it's definitely a close second. I don't think nothing still tops Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man
It's
was kind of fantastic with how Spider-Man moved and
yes. I want to say like we still haven't got anything as cool. These are definitely really good fight scenes, incredible fight
mhm.
scenes. Um, I still feel like the coolest Spider-Man fight scene was absolutely 100% the lizard and him. In the school where he's like crawling all around Wizard, like webbing him up to the
Yeah,
walls and everything. Like being more spider-like is such a fun way to shoot him.
I think the more Spider-Man moves like a normal person, the less fun it is and the more boring he is. Where it's like when Iron Man punches somebody, it's like okay, it's Iron Man, he can punch a guy. Spider-Man should like jump up to the ceiling and then punch the guy while sticking to the ceiling or something.
Yes, which he does do some sticking to the ceiling and fighting, and
Yeah,
I was so happy because I was like, oh my god, finally! Like the amount of
yeah,
times I've seen this man be on the ground swinging, and it's like you're Spider-Man. Like climb on the like for the longest time. I think the only thing close to that, besides like some Amazing Spider-Man stuff, was like really the train scene from Spider-Man 2, where
yeah. And
like
then it's
they're
usually
fighting
just
on
him
the
like kind of catching himself and
well, you got the little bit where like they're all sideways, just beating the shit out of each other as they're like moving.
and then
Um,
he's like just standing though.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, no, true,
like it's
yes,
not
yes,
like
okay, yeah. No, I also will say that part of the time they're like, dude, the CGI budget is killing us. But
yeah,
yeah, no, it's the police were fun. I think uh, I will say I have one complaint about the cop lady. Um, And to me, I feel like it's just a little and this could be part of the character because I've been thinking about it, and I don't like that
Virginia Woolf. I think that's her name, Virginia Woolf. No,
it's
it's
not
Wolf.
wolf, it's like a wolf or something. I don't know, there was like an E, I swear to God, there was like Eve Wolf
There's a
or
wolf at
something.
the end.
Yeah, there's wolf at the end.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
something
pronounced
wolf.
wolf though.
The wolf, that's what it was, the wolf.
The wolf.
Yeah. I was like, "No, there's like something in the beginning of it." But yeah, no, the wolf, I think she does an incredible job.
Gene, two genes.
That's crazy.
No, Agent Preppler is the wolf
Yeah, they do.
I don't think we ever watched
Um,
anything.
but yeah, and I think she is like a actual comic character because I know there's been a
Yeah,
couple
like
times where they've done that.
from like the 70s. Like
Yeah, which respect, fun putting that in. I think she does an incredible job. To me though, she still kind of is like that maternal figure, and it's like we just lost Aunt May.
I didn't
Give
get
us
her
some
yet.
time.
I say
Really,
more
I kind of
like Yuri from the games.
I
Like they're more
felt like
friendly than they are like I think the relationship is like very equal.
I feel like maybe not motherly, but like almost maybe like aunt. I don't know,
I
but
wouldn't
also
say
I feel
that.
like that's fair. But to me, I feel like I can. And it could be just me nitpicking because also like I think it still kind of made sense, even if it is in that manner, because it shows how Peter is still kind of stuck in the past and in his own head, which is like the themes of the movie. Is
But
like
also just
kind
more
of
like a he's a good guy. People want to take care of him, even if you
no,
don't
yeah,
know him all that much.
no,
And
yeah,
like
it
he kind of
definitely is
protects
a
people.
sense of that. Yeah, it's definitely a sense of that as well. Um, I think they do a great job. The montage was fine. I was very worried when the trailers were coming out and we saw all the different villains, and I was like, okay,
Mhm.
sure this is just a montage, and I'm glad it was because this was already a very busy movie, and I feel like if we got any more, it would be a bit too much.
I think
Um,
there was a
I will
moment
say,
like at the end of Act One where I was like, this is spreading out a lot. I hope it doesn't spread out too much. And then
what
it
was
kind of like reaches like a halfway point where it starts like refocusing back in, where things start being connected and
was it
start building
whenever
together.
was it whenever he went to go see Yelena?
Uh, Maybe a little bit after that, because you get like it's like that the Hulk. It's like the other. I think is the comic book story. This happens to Peter, where he's like
Yeah.
talking to
No,
guys and stuff. Like just a lot of stuff was happening and like being introduced, and then it all kind of flared out, and then it all kind of wrapped itself up in the end. I was very happy it
valid.
did that.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, I agree. I agree. I will say 100%. First off, I remember building up the movie coming out, people were wanting Man Spider ever since they saw his eyes go black from the first trailer and the whole Keith David narration, which also, by the way, so funny that that was like in every trailer and the whole thing was like the third stage of the spider rebirth or whatever,
He's
and
talking
you
about
don't
the
even
Rebirth.
hear that part. It's just a YouTube video, and like you kind of hear it mumbling, and he's like, "Ugh, gross, turn it off." And I was like, "That's so funny to me," but also like I can see some dude on Twitter being like, "This is stupid. They ruined it." But also, I will down the hill. Thank God they didn't do Man Spider. Everyone wanted them to apparently do Man Spider. I think Man Spider is the dumbest thing ever when it
I
comes to
bet it
Spider-Man
was like when they were maybe not even like writing this movie, but like when they were doing the kind of ideas for it,
pitching.
there was an idea of him becoming Man Spider.
I feel like if they did Man Spider, it would absolutely be way too much.
Yeah, I don't, you can't if you're gonna do a Man Spider, that has to be the movie. It
Yes,
can't be
and
anything
even then,
else if you're gonna go that far with it.
yeah, it's it's just it would be too much. Man Spider is so much. It's also so dumb. Like even in the '90s cartoon, and I know it didn't start from the '90s cartoon; it was just in there. But even when I watched it as a kid, and like that part came up, I was like, "This is so dumb." The only good part about that was like him going to the Ets mansion and being like, "Can you guys help me and cure my mutation?" And they're like, "Mutations are beautiful, and we don't do that." And he's like, "Fuck you guys." He's
Yeah,
like,
they do have sense.
yeah, he's like, the amount of times I fucking saved the earth and y'all can't do me this one fucking favor. Screw you guys. No wonder everyone hates you mutants. And then he webs out of I think even Wolverine's like, what a jerk. But yeah, thank God they didn't do Man Spider. I think how they handled it was very well done. It wasn't over the top. It was
It's almost
you could
like a Spider-Man 2.
yeah, I was gonna say it was
It's very
very
mental and
yes,
they
mental
don't have any
hormonal.
dread.
Yeah, it was a definitely it was a different take on it, and because it's almost the opposite of Spider-Man 2 when it's handled. Because of Spider-Man 2, it's like mentally he was stopping himself because he didn't feel he was like worthy of being Spider-Man. And so he was like kind of going back to Peter. While this one is he doesn't feel like he's much of a person anymore and just Spider-Man, so the spider half of him is kind of taking up more.
See, and
Um, it's also
that was. I think we should have seen him like at a job,
no, absolutely.
even if it's
So
just
he
during the
so
montage.
no, yes. So throughout the movie, he goes and buys flowers to take him to Aunt May's grave, and like kind of has a little chat with her, kiss the gravestone. But like the whole time that happened, I was like, "Where's he getting the money to buy these flowers? Where are you getting the money
Well,
for rent, Peter?"
yeah, and it's like okay, I get like rent's probably not a whole lot because it's like a it was like
Like
the
a warehouse.
storage attic that nobody wanted,
Yeah,
and he's kind of made it, you know,
habitable.
what he needs it to be. Also, it has skylights. I don't think we ever see him go through them.
It has skylights.
Yeah,
That's first off, it has skylights, and you're not charging like you're not making that an apartment
yeah.
is actually insane.
Like maybe they don't open, and so
I
that's why.
guess,
But like I kept seeing them, and I'm like, that seems like prime Spider-Man crawls out of that
right?
material.
Um, I will say, thank God they didn't also like just 100% adapt the other because I think that comic is also just kind of dumb. Anything where like the only time I've ever liked them doing anything that's not Spider-Man was bitten by a radioactive spider and it gave him spider powers was kinda where they introduced Morlun, which also they did that in the other two, but like it was like really that initial thing of like you get to the whole point where like he learns like oh you are a totem possibly so that could have been what gave you your powers but then he's also like but I was bitten by a radioactive spider I am a radioactive like mutant and so he just goes to like a radioactive plant and just irradiates the shit of himself and he's like go ahead Morlun and Morlun's like yummy yummy and like eats that like not didn't actually eat him but like he it absorbs his energy and he's like oh god cancer and he dies. Also, you get like the good moments that everyone like, edits little Spider-Man edits too, where it's like him calling Aunt May and MJ, trying to like kind of getting his like final goodbyes in. And then also like, the whole thing of like you're Spider-Man, act like it. People love that, and that's where it comes from. Which is crazy because if you're like, yeah, actually it's from a book where Spider-Man's actually a magical totem by a spider god. They're like, what? Um, But I'm glad they didn't do that. I think they did a really good job. Um, one thing I don't like about his apartment and throughout
The
the movie,
fabricator.
I don't like the fabricator and I
I think
don't like the AI.
yeah, I think you could easily replace all
I
the scenes of the fabricator with just him leaning over his desk with a soldering iron.
that or you could just in the AI you could also just have him talking to himself. I don't like it because we already live in a time where like, and I know it's like, oh, well, the fabricator. I, I don't like it, but enough of me was like, this is the Marvel universe where it's like that's also just the issue with the MCU is that on some level it's like, oh yeah, no, you have like Wakanda and like all this Stark tech and everything. So it made sense that some of it gets out, like sure Peter should be able to get it. But also it's like also he's like
But
smart enough to like
Samsung
make
Flip
it.
Z or whatever.
Oh god, yeah, I know. And the amount of times I saw that flip, I will say it's so funny. It's so funny that the ad before the movie is like
Yeah,
yeah, your phone keeps breaking. So here's a Samsung flip like close phone. And in the movie he has it, it's
it's
fucking
shattered.
broken. Yes. I was like, dude, that's they did that because they like legally had to. And then the director was like, yeah, make sure you fucking crack that bitch. Like,
Yeah. He's Spider-Man. He got
it,
punched by the Shocker or something.
yeah. Um, yeah, no, I don't
And
like
he's
the
really like
fabricator.
really sad about it because he can't pay to get it fixed.
Yeah. Um, I don't like the fabricator, and yeah, I really don't like the AI. In a world where like AI is being shoved down our faces even more and more, I feel like, because especially because like it's not even just like it does little like tasks for him, but it actively is like talking to him and like trying to like be nice to him, like you see with a lot of like generative AI chatbots. It
Yeah.
almost felt like, and while it's like, oh, it's Eve, which also like, was that the same one that he's had since Homecoming, or is that a different one? Because for the life of me, I don't remember that AI because literally no AI besides Jarvis and I think Friday,
Yeah. Friday.
which also like, eh, but really nothing's top Jarvis.
It was Karen in
Oh,
Homecoming.
oof, crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it's a whole different
I'm
AI.
assuming
Okay,
it's like he made it.
I'm assuming so. Yeah, but it's like I just don't like it because
Mm.
because we were in such a, and this is maybe like, oh, it's a movie, shut up and enjoy it, but it's also like we were in such a like a dire time with AI, especially when it comes to like people socializing, and AI psychosis is such a serious danger now, where like several people have taken their lives because of AI telling them like, yeah, no, you're being hunted down by the government, you should off yourself. Which, if you ever feel that, talk to people. Don't trust the AI. It butters you up and tells you whatever you want it to tell you. And if you're in a distressed mind state, it will tell you that yes, you are. Like, it will validate that distressed mind. Um, and they could have even made that as a point of like kind of showing that it isn't helping him, but they don't. In fact, it actively helps him because it like helps him find out about the jumps and helps him like find like regulate his hormones from the spider and the human and all that stuff. I didn't like that part myself.
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like if you take it out,
literally
nothing
it adds nothing.
changes.
Yeah, all that stuff he could have found by himself. Because like the whole like the whole like seconds and feet between jumping, you could have just like had his lenses take a camera, like a photo picture,
Yeah.
and he just
He
like
can say his voice commands, but he doesn't like nothing's talking back to him.
yeah, um, yeah. There's that. I
Kind of
was
like
surprised with.
saying like the like No Way Home mirror dimension scene where he's like, oh, it's geometry, and he no help from any AI or anything, just
Oh, you
instant
just figured
tricks
it out.
for him. Yeah. And he's able to use the mirror dimension against Doctor Strange, who has a lot more experience with it because he's this genius and he knows math and stuff. He can just do that here.
Yeah. Which I will say that scene still also bugs me. Like that's also just an issue with MCU Doctor Strange is that he's so weak. He is so weak for some reason, and it's like I know you
Well,
can't
see,
have him be like,
he wouldn't go all out against Spider-Man.
well, not even just that. Like literally, I was like, I saw a clip because someone recently posted a clip from Infinity War, and it's the scene of like the Squidward face dude, and he just dog walked him, and it's like that's the Sorcerer Supreme. Like you haven't put up more of a fight.
That's why we get
Uh,
a different Sorcerer Supreme now.
yeah, and I mean, I love Benedict Wong, but like, come on, man. That's also just an issue with the whole Infinity Saga MCU thing with the whole blip. I fucking hate that name still. Um, that you can tell they weren't thinking about that before they did it, and then they're like I think the Russos were like, we're gonna do this, and then everyone else creatively was like, well, fuck. Now we have to write around this. Um, but back to the movie. Yeah, no, it definitely he didn't need the AI. And also like I'm sorry, but I felt like it would be a lot cooler if he physically was repairing the suit. And there was so many times during this movie I was like, "This suit should be torn or, like, damaged."
Yeah.
Like, when he does fight the Hulk, I'm like, "There's no way this suit's getting out of here unscathed," and it does, and I'm like, That's absolute horseshit."
Like the Far
Like,
From Home suit gets more damage.
it does. Yeah, and it's like, this is so much more less tech, um, but that's that. I think I like how I like the montage of him capturing everyone. I will say for a fact I say for a fact, I will say personally, I feel the director put the hand in this movie strictly so he could have Spider-Man fighting ninjas, and that's that. Because I
Yeah.
was like which, yeah, no, it's absolutely fun, but also I'm like, "That's you did" like because it's the guy behind Shang-Chi, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why. Because I was like, "There's, like, no" and then he's like, "Oh, the" so the main enemy is Damage Control, surprise, it's the big corporation, whose whole thing is like, "Yes, we take villain tech and we repurpose it for our own power." Which, I'm sorry, Peter, you really need to wake the fuck up, brother. How are you gonna do this, like, 3 times now?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
with first Mysterio's like, "I could be really cool if I had those glasses," and he's like, "Yeah, you're right, man. I'm not cut out for this. Here are
You're
these
right.
cool
I
glasses
just
that
want to
have"
kiss this girl.
Yeah,
What do you
here's
have?
these yeah, yeah, here's these cool glasses that literally have heat-seeking killing drones, which crazy again that Tony Stark was like, "Here you go, kid."
Like honestly, at
Not
this point, I think it's just a thing where he was like, I everybody else will use the heat-seeking kill drones. I think Peter Parker, you might not even realize they're there.
true,
Just give
but
him a
also
look.
it's like it also feels like a very, very, very big backtrack on Tony Stark. Mister, we're not in the weapons making business to be like, "Here's these fucking killer drones."
Yeah, these like satellite controlled drone. They can like hack into people's phones. Uh,
Yeah,
they can they control these drones. Like a lot of drones
like, it would
can
make
like
more sense if it was like if they were just like it is like, I can kinda forgive the surveillance state kind of vibe of it, since he got very paranoid, during, like, Avengers and Iron Man 3 and Age of Ultron and all that.
mhm.
So I can kinda forgive that, and I could see him maybe being like, "Well, yeah, like, eyes on the ground or eyes up in the sky, you could use that, and I know you have a good heart," and maybe have a scene of Mysterio reworking them and, like, weaponizing them, but they didn't do that. Because you gotta have that haha funny scene where Peter accidentally tells the drones to kill that kid. Um, good movies, by the way, thank God these exist. But, no, it's yeah, it's crazy because he did that, and then in No Way Home, he, like, brings and I understand the whole thing is like, "Oh, try to, im help change your villains for the better, don't just beat them up and throw them away." Like, help people.
Like
But,
for that,
like,
because
maybe bring
he figures out they're gonna go back and die.
yeah, which
Like he's all good for sending
also
them home, and then they're like, yeah, and then they go back, and then the spike
they
ends
still die.
still.
Yeah, like, it's
But we
like
know
yeah,
here's
none of
the thing: are the movies what used to happen, and did things change, and we just don't know? Uh, like, is there
I
gonna be like if we do get like a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire?
will Harry
Is
Osborn still be alive?
oh no, Harry's fucking dead. But is Norman
Not Harry,
Osborn gonna be?
yeah, no, yeah. See, I don't I partly because I think the meme of Norman, like, being cured and be like, "Peter, what's going on?" And then immediately comes back into the spot where he's like, "Oh." And then the glider pierces him is so funny. But also, like, yeah, you didn't like, you I think literally, like, Doctor Strange mentions, like, "Yeah, we send them home, and they go right back to where they were." And, like, based off Doctor Ock, like, it's literally, like, him talking about, like, "Yeah, like, I had Spider-Man in my hand, and my machine was about to start." And it's like, that was, like, 5 minutes before he died, max.
Yeah, I think
'Cause
Doctor Octopus is the one where if he gets sent back right to when we think he gets brought from, he has the best chance of survival. Also, there's a thing with Electro where like he had that had to have happened way after Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, honestly, because he was like, "Oh yeah, no, like I
He was
had him," and
jacked.
then yeah, oh yeah. Well, that whole thing is full of inconsistencies there. That movie's also just a mess because they wanted to be like, remember these characters?" Um, but yeah, no, I because it's also after Spider-Man 3 because Sandman,
Well,
which
the
also
villains get
which also
taken from different times.
well, yeah, no, I know
The
that,
movie
but
is
like
like way after the movies too.
yeah,
So
but
like
also like
Andrew is there.
Sandman, but also like that's the thing is that like, that's what this is also why I just don't like Sandman in that movie because like Sandman throughout Spider-Man 3, Sandman was only a bad guy because he felt he had to, and then
And he
because
lives at the
Venom
end of
was
the
like,
movie.
yeah, and then he lives at it. Like he flies away, and you could argue like, well, maybe it's like him like refusing to reform, so like technically in a way he does die. But then also like I think it's just a deleted scene, so it's not in the movie. But there's a scene of him like I think it's like literally like, almost like an end credit scene where like he makes the sandcastle for his daughter, showing like, hey, like I may not be actively like trying to rob banks, but I will still be here for you. Um, it's also like Sandman is arguably like one of the best characters in the trilogy. Like still to this day, his like
Yeah.
him reforming himself is incredible. Um, but yeah, and then in Far From Home, or No Way Home, he's just like he has that moment where he's like, hey,
So he's just all CG and he's like kind of weirdly written around. Same with the
yeah,
lizard.
but
But like we can't do too much
yes,
with him. But
yeah,
it's
but
still like
also like
important, and we want one from every movie, so they need to be here, I guess.
yeah, but also yeah, pin in that real quick. But yeah, like he shows up and he's like, Peter, it's me, remember Flint Marco, I'm here to help out. Which also it's
Yeah,
like,
I'm the man made of sand. Do you remember Peter Parker, Spider Man?
yeah, me, Sandman,
I was in the green striped shirt that also
khakis.
turns to sand.
Yeah.
I killed your uncle, Peter. Do you remember? I was real sad about it.
It'd be really funny if this Peter had no clue how Uncle Ben died. So he's like, "It's me, the guy who killed your uncle. Remember Uncle Ben? You loved him." And he's like, "That's why Ben never came home."
Yeah, like
No, but yeah, no, it's poorly written. Also, it'd be really funny because you were like, "Yeah, they need one from every movie." It would be so funny if instead they they got fucking Topher Grace back.
no, but I've said for so long. Instead of the lizard, it should have been Dane DeHaan, Green Goblin, because that's
I was
like,
like, yeah,
even though it's like, oh, we don't get one from Amazing Spider-Man 1, I kind of don't care because he has like 3 lines and then it's reused footage and then he's CGI lizard the rest of the movie. And he's in the back of a truck. You bring in a Green Goblin and then you have a Harry Osborn to play off Norman Osborn, and maybe you can even have him still kind of not be super present, like because he's like maybe a little fucked up and disassociative after Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like
yeah,
I think that lends itself way better.
then just rah,
Like
I'm a lizard.
and I would love to see Dane DeHaan and fucking Willem Dafoe play off each other.
Playoff. Oh, I feel like it'd be really good. They're both
Yeah,
incredible actors.
yeah. Like and you could have him talk about how he looks more like a goblin. You know, like Willem Dafoe's
Yeah.
like calling him ugly and shit.
Harry, you're even more a disappointment. You messed up the goblin formula.
Oh, were your hands shaking? My hands started shaking around that age.
Well,
Like,
also that one was like a whole
lucky
different
for me,
thing because it was like,
we invented a cure.
you what? No, but
For the
I
disease, for the blah blah
for the
blah
what?
hypoplasia. Yeah, man.
I think it'd be funny if he's just like, the what? No, no, I did this to myself voluntarily.
I injected myself with the spider serum.
But
It did that to you? But it
yikes.
did that to him though. Like he's a normal ass guy. And then
But
you see there's a bunch of deleted scenes from his transformation in Amazing Spider-Man 2, where he is like he bites down so hard his teeth shatter and then he regrows new ones and shit.
Ew.
It's like that sort of transformation, and then Willem Dafoe's like, "You, that's not right. Did you do the green gas? I did the green gas."
Yeah. I
He's like,
put
"No,
the
I had a
little.
guy inject me in my arm."
Oh yeah, you never want to do injection.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah,
inhale it.
and then yeah,
Inhales the. It's healthier.
yeah.
You just have blackouts and a second
Well,
persona.
especially because Dane DeHaan's the one who throws the girlfriend,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot. Yeah.
because Andrew's the one that saves her.
Yeah.
Like I guess Green Goblin drops MJ one time, but then Toby saves her in that movie.
True. Because he's the goat. But all right. Pivot back to the movie.
Yeah, back to the movie that came out.
Yeah, the actual one that we're talking about, not the one from 4 years ago. Um.
Speaking of Amazing Spider-Man, the suit in this movie looks great.
Oh, it does. It is.
Yeah.
It is definitely the best MCU suit. I will say.
It might be the
I.
best.
I.
It might be my favorite live-action Spider-Man suit, mainly because the expressive eyes do so much for me.
I will say. I felt they weren't there. Like I feel like I really didn't see them, and it could have just been
Oh,
like
I did.
because it's the like I
My eyes
didn't.
are broken.
I felt like it felt like they weren't as like visually there. Like maybe
They
it
weren't
just
focusing
they
on them as
happened.
much, but they're still
Yeah,
amazing.
I will say one thing I loved about his eyes in this one is that you could. There were moments where you could see his eyes behind the spider eye.
And you have that shot of like from inside the mask as he's falling,
That
and you
that
can
was a
just
cool
hear him
scene.
breathing.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. But like, yeah, that was cool. It's definitely out there. I feel like
It
for
might even
me
be the best shot in a
personally,
Spider-Man movie. I think. And the cinematography itself.
yeah, it's definitely up there.
Because I think even with the Raimi movies, it's and this is probably just like product of the time. They didn't. They only had so much they could do. But like there's not like any like crazy camera shots, especially if him doing Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah,
But
and I feel like
my
yeah, like you
main
said,
thing,
it's
especially
definitely
for like
because
web
of the
swinging,
time. Yes. Yeah, the web slinging definitely it's very stiff and like a steady
it can feel
camera.
very floaty too, because it's just the way the
Yes.
camera's moving while he's moving. It's the same sort of problem that the final swing in No Way Home has, where it's like when you have like the camera moving a certain way, like with Spider-Man, it can feel just kind of like I feel like he doesn't have any weight, and he's just kind of going point A to point B, and you're just moving
Yeah.
on the model.
No, absolutely. This stuff one's definitely is good. Um
There's when they're like,
I
"Oh,
think it yeah,
he's on a ceiling. We'll flip the camera. We'll,
yes. No, yeah, those were a lot of fun.
we'll zoom in on this. And I think they were very like, this is a Spider-Man movie. Like there are certain things we can do with the camera that we couldn't do with in like a Captain America movie.
Yes.
So we're gonna do those things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I no, it's actually it really is a beautifully shot film. I my only complaint is like I wish it was a little bit more colorful. Like I feel like the suit as well. Like it is the suit. Like there's moments where like I don't know. I think it could just be also the issue of the MCU. I don't know how much of they're kind of demanding they still stick with like the palette being sucked out of everything. Um, but like I feel like because the No Way Home suit absolutely like Final Swing suit was absolutely like more colorful, and this one's more desaturated. But I like the bright colors. Like I don't like them too bright. Like for example, I think too bright, for example, is like a good example is the like SH Figuarts Gamerverse Spider-Man and like the like Mayfet's like
The
comic
Flowers
color
of
Spider-Man.
Capcom Spider-Man.
Yes, I feel like that's too blue, or not too blue, too baby blue-y, and I don't like that. I want a like a true blue. Like, I don't want and this one went for more, like, navy-ish.
Yeah, I think it was. I think not having the faceplate also worked out really well.
Uh,
You could see when he was
yes, no,
talking,
I loved
and
it.
you can tell like kind of how built Tom Holland got.
Oh, yeah, no,
There's
there's so
no,
many scenes where this man had no clothes on or had his arms or chest visible that I was like, "This is crazy." Um, because you have
it's a 30-year-old
of
man.
course it is also so crazy to me that, like, yeah, he's 30.
Yeah,
It's like the same thing with Zendaya for me, like, I'm so used to her because I remember she was in Shake It Up, and then, of course, these Spider-Man movies, and I remember, like, at the same time, it was, like, I think No Way Home or not No Way Homecoming came out, she was then in Greatest Showman, where she was just playing, like, a grown woman,
yeah.
that I was like, "Zac Efron, why are you flirting with this 17-year-old?" Or not even 17,
Oh
like,
no, she's
15-year-old.
24.
Yeah, and I was like, "This is weird." And yeah, yeah, and in reality, it's like, "Yeah, actually, no, she's like yeah, she was, like, 24." And I was like, "Huh?" Um, no, it's yeah, he is definitely, like, very built. Man, put that Spider-Man money or that Marvel money to good use, getting ripped and it's just staying ripped. Um,
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, he definitely fills out the suit really well. Um,
I
and
think
then, of
it
course
definitely fits him like getting stronger and stuff.
yes.
Where like some of the stuff, especially in like kind of like the final fight scene with the hand, him like with his homecoming build, I'd be like,
No, yeah,
would that shatter against his arm?
right.
But this like really feels like he feels very solid, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, I agree. Like, I don't wanna say tangible, but, like, you feel it. You're like, "Oh, yeah, no."
Yeah, you can even just like in the way he moves, you can tell like the
Yeah,
work he put in, and
and of course, there's the whole, you know, the spider and the man conflict within him, and so we have, like, the whole introduction of organic webbing, um, and I kinda like how they built up to it as well, how like, prior, they were like, "Oh, yeah, you've been having these headaches." You see him, like, kinda like, head," and pop an Advil, and then, like, he has the scene where, like, he's looking at his arm, and he's, like, feeling, like, where the web shooters will be, and he's like, "Ah."
yeah,
I will say it kinda reminded me a lot of if you read Spider-Man 2099, how, like, that kinda first happens, because like, it's very gross because it is just, like, a lump of web that gets built up on his arm, and he's like, "I gotta let these out." Like, it hurts. And, like, there's, like, a scene where he's, like, trying to sneak by, and a guy bumps into him, and his arm, like, presses against his, like, side or whatever, and he squirts out webs, and he's like, "Oh, no." And it's like, "Ugh." But, I like how I do like the callback to No Way Home. There's a lot of good callbacks to No Way Home where it was clearly they weren't, like they were making sure you didn't forget about it, but also, like, the characters haven't forgotten about it.
yeah. Like,
And
even though 4 years has passed and Ned and MJ have graduated college,
not
and
yet, they're gonna be graduating.
no, they graduated and moved back to New York. This is we see in like Ned's Instagram post or whatever. They graduated.
Is MIT not in New York?
MIT's in Boston.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, that's
but
on
like
me,
there's
I
a
didn't
scene
know
in
that.
No Way Home where they're like, I can be Spider-Man in Boston, right? There's crime in Boston, and I'm just like, yeah, there's tons of crime.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, so they went to Boston. That was not a
Yeah, went
Boston
went
accent.
and moved back. Also, there's a scene where MJ's like, it's while Ned's like recording like an Instagram thing or whatever they call it in the MCU, and MJ's like, does anybody even watch these? And Ned's like, I think so or whatever, and it has like 200 likes, and you know people are watching them, Ned. Like, come on,
I I
be
I
like
will say I
behind it,
was
man.
talking about it, and I was like, it is actually also very funny that this movie arguably is the most, like, chemistry between all 3 of them, probably
Yeah,
ever.
I think it's just
Like,
it allows them
cause
to
like,
be like a very real, and I think
yeah,
also like a little bit of tragedy added in helps a
yeah,
lot.
it really does. Um,
Like it was
cause
like,
like,
oh yeah, they're a cute couple or whatever in No Way Home.
well, not even just them, but him and Ned also. Like, they had
Yeah,
moments together, but it was like it always felt like they were friends in the sense of in a movie. There's a scene where later, after MJ reads the letter that he wrote in No Way Home and learns like, oh, we were a thing. Which I will say, well, before we get into that, let me say like he's worried about Jean getting to MJ and the race home, how we think we like he got her like beat and goes to MJ, and you have that whole scene on the roof where he's like trying to figure out where to take her, and they kiss, and she's like, "Peter?" And, like, he, like, hugs her, and he, like, cries into her shoulder. I got a little teary-eyed too because I was like, "Oh, man," like, even as cheesy as, like, "Oh, true love's kiss freed the spell," like, I still was like, "Oh my god," like,
yeah,
that's such an incredible way of handling it, and
yeah.
then
You can
the
feel what he's
reveal.
feeling.
Yes, like, you feel that, and you're like, "Oh god, dude, yeah, no, he needed this." Like, because you can the way he breaks down, you can tell, like, he has not had someone to do that with.
Yeah, he needed something like this,
Yeah, like,
like
he's
almost like
buried May.
physically.
Yeah, and that happens, and then Gene messes with him and reveals, like, "Haha, I actually got to her before you. Like, too bad, Suso, whatever." And I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." Of course, then she, like, jumps off the building, Peter catches her. Um, uh, and he takes her to Punisher where they, like, try to protect her. Um, and he's been carrying around the note of what he wrote from No Way Home, and he leaves it there, and she reads it, and she's like, "Who are you?" Like, we were when she doesn't, she's like, "You're Peter Parker," and she's like, "We were a thing." Like, and I'm sorry. Like, it very much felt like Guardians 3, how Gamora had moments where she's like, I know you had this love for me, for a different me who went through all this stuff with you. I'm not her,
Yeah, I think it's
and I'm sorry." And it's really well done, and I like what they did with that. How it wasn't just
yeah,
like, "Oh, Peter Parker." "Oh my god." Like,
yeah.
no,
There's no
she
like,
still was like, "Good."
there's no joke.
Yeah.
There's not even like any like kind of like overreaction to it, where she
No, it
like
was
reads
very
it and
real.
she takes it as face value, and she's like, oh, all this crazy stuff happens, so sure, but I'm a person, and this is how I react to it.
Yeah.
And she's like trying to be understanding and be kind to Peter. She doesn't want to just be like, oh, fuck off, you're creepy, because she knows he's trying to help her, and he she could
Thank
feel
God they didn't do that.
from his note that he did very obviously care very deeply for her, and she respects that. But also, she has literally no memory of any of it.
Yeah. I will say one thing that I remember people talking about before the movie came out, which they kinda touched on with Ned a little bit, and I wish they kinda did it a little bit more with Ned and MJ, is that, like, even if we knew even if they forget Peter, all the scenes where he was, like, Spider-Man, I felt should have stayed as Spider-Man. Like, kinda like how in the comics when Peter
Well,
does
I
it,
think it
uh
has, because they talk about being saved by Spider-Man a bunch.
yeah, but, like, let me hold on, let me go into this because, like, with the comments, you had Black Cat who was like, "We were like we lived together, like, we had relations, like, I made out with you, we had sex, all this stuff, and I don't remember your face." And I felt like something like that because, like, he kissed her as Spider-Man, they web swing together as Spider-Man, like, all that, I felt like she should have been like, "No, I remember I had a relationship with Spider-Man. I just don't remember who he is." And I feel like and I'm glad because I feel like the issue with that, I guess, is then how much of her character is gonna be dedicated to being like, "I need to be in love with Spider-Man," and not, like, as a character, and I guess that is the conflict writing it, or as that would have been. I don't know. I just feel like you could have done a bit more because, like, yeah, like Ned was like, "Oh, Spider-Man saved our school," and then he was in Europe the same time as we were, saving us. Like all these times, it's weird. I feel like
Yeah,
because
he has
then
that little funny
even
moment where he's like, "I've narrowed it down,"
yeah, and then
and
it's
it's Flash
flashing the
Thompson and
teacher.
their teacher.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
like, I'm
it's
pretty
a
sure
funny
it's
little
not this guy though.
yeah, and it's a pretty funny moment. But like it also, I feel like because like and again a little bit more because like people were like, dude, like yeah, no wonder Ned's like trying to hunt him down because Ned remembers like I helped Spider-Man. He didn't just save us, like, I was his guy in the chair,
Yeah,
and now I don't know who he is.
it's I think it was like, do they would they remember that because he was Spider Man's guy in the chair because Spider Man was Peter Parker.
Right? It's
So
just
how
the
far
issue
does
of
that go?
yeah, and it's just the
But
issue with
also,
No Way Home.
and maybe not like dwelling on it is maybe the right decision, and
True,
just moving
true.
past
It
it. You
just
don't really need to know.
yeah, oh, no,
So
I think it just would've been good moments, but yeah, I feel like, yeah, overall, it doesn't change the story. Um, but yeah, it's a really good scene of both, because then later, when he returns MJ back home, she's like you can tell there's kind of a moment where, like, she feels bad, but also, like, maybe something in her is kinda like, "There's a reason I loved this guy."
yeah,
And so she invites him up, and she's like, "Well, like, Ned would love to meet you." And it's a whole funny thing because he has a tracker or, like, a Spider-Man app that tracks where your Spider-Man's sided, and he was like, "MJ, you're not gonna believe this. Spider-Man is in our apartment."
he
And
says
Spider-Man's
like
like,
in the
"Oh,
vicinity or something.
yeah, yeah," and Spider-Man's like, "Well, that's crazy." Uh, which also he's also on his fucking flip phone.
The
Uh,
Samsung provided move or whatever.
yeah, um but yeah, it's yeah. And then you had a really nice moment over they're like talking and hanging out, and like they're building like the Ets wing. I think it's the UCS Ets wing for any Lego fans out there. Um,
No,
uh,
it's Mega
I
Blocks.
don't. Well, Megabots is owned by Lego now, I think. So
No, because they weren't when I was a kid. So, and nothing ever changes. We will never die.
Goonies never die. Uh, but no, they're like riffing off each other and make a Lord of the Rings reference, and it's like, oh yeah, these guys are fucking nerds. And even MJ kind of has a little moment of she's like, oh, and she like draws them, and it's a good moment. And even for Peter, he's like, oh, I needed this, and it's even sadder because like
He did.
after this, yeah, yeah, he did, but also like at least I mean we know now based off the end of the movie, but at the time we're like, yeah, and probably after this he's gonna go right back to what he was doing. So he's getting this like moment of like his life back again, only for like knowing that like tomorrow he's gonna wake up alone and have to do it again.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, uh, we get some interaction with other people in the MCU. Of course, Punisher and Hulk are like two big names. Um, I was actually kind of surprised at how well Hulk was done. I wasn't expecting that, and
Yeah, and they
I
kind
love
of
first off, I love his class. The way like he's like I'm trying to teach you guys. I love that you want to ask me questions about being an Avenger, but like
you guys
I
are
got to do
confusing.
physics. Yeah, yeah, but everyone's just like, which also like I will say, um, I do love that they decided to make a point about addressing the flaw of Thanos' plan because there were so many times where in prior MCU films and projects, it almost felt like they were still trying to like justify it, and so many people in real life, and that might be where they're getting it from, is people in real life are like, no, actually, Thanos is right, and it's like you're actually so fucking stupid. because it's like it literally yeah, if his solution was like, "Oh, I'm worried about planets destroying themselves because of, like, basically, like, exhausting all their resources." There's so many other ways and better plans besides just killing half of everything,
Yeah, especially because like
because
if you have those
repopulation.
redstones, you can just keep making more food.
Yes, and even if you don't wanna argue like, "Oh, that would just be, like, doing that and, like, having to use the Infinity Gauntlet takes a toll and doing all sorts of all that kinda stuff," fine. Like, just edge you're in the Infinity Stones, provide the knowledge of how to, like, not just do that, and then boom, you snap, and then there's so many other ways you could do it, and then the fact that people in real life were like, "Yes, no, this is the most sound logic he's ever said in my life," and it's like you're and it's because the MCU villains at the time were, "I want to kill the good guy because 'cause I'm the bad guy," which made Thanos masterclass in writing villains when it was really just you gave him a shred of depth. Doesn't make him right, and a lot of people were like, "Wow, he's actually well written, thus he must be correct."
Of
And it
course,
was like, "No,
because
no,
Joss
no,
Whedon's always right.
he's not." And it was like, "No, don't do that." And so I was kinda glad for the student to be like, "Yeah, if he wanted to, like, save lives, why did he kill half the universe instead of, I don't know, making more resources?" And then the one guy was like he's like, "Terry, wanna answer that?" And he's just like, "What's wrong?" Which I love that Bruce isn't annoyed, he laughing along with him, he's like, "Alright, guys, essays due later." But, and then, like, him and Peter talking to each other is cool, I like that. Um, and, like, how he talked about the inhibitor. I will say Hulk is definitely a weird character in the MCU because he's very all over the place. Because we had, him struggling with the Hulk and Incredible Hulk, and in, Avengers,
And kind of like
Ultron.
through like Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok, especially because it was like Hulk was like, "No, I'm staying out. You aren't coming out." Um, and then we like, yeah, the whole thing with Infinity War where there was some problems and off screen, unresolved, got resolved. Um, and now he was Professor Hulk, and it was really dumb and lame. Uh, honestly, the only good part of Professor Hulk. Uh, one is the tacos meme where he's handing Ant Man the taco. That's a really funny one. Um, but then also the scene when they go back in time to New York, and he's like, "Hulk, can you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll play it up." And he like rips his shirt, and he's like, "Roar," and half hearts like hits a car, and he's like, "Roar." It's a little funny moment, but like, yeah, it's like okay, this is still a crazy thing for him to like have control of himself. And like, yeah, what's the situation here? And it seems like that wasn't ever really solved because then in She-Hulk, I didn't watch all of She-Hulk. I watched I think one episode, and I was like, yeah, this isn't my show. Um, and if you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. Hats off to you. I wish I could have. It wasn't interesting to me. I was like, a not my cup of tea. I wasn't one of these losers who were like, this was the MCU. Um, but I know it introduced that like gauntlet thing. I think in that show because I think he was like trying to tell Jan like, hey, I or Jen, not Jan, Jen. He was trying to tell Jen like, hey, I could make you one because like you might need it. Which also, I mean, also just not thinking about it, it made sense that she's like, no, I'm good because like literally Bruce's like psyche is fucked. Like man is a abuse victim who's irradiated with like severe mental issues. Meanwhile, Jen's like a lawyer, but
Yeah.
so it made sense she controls it a lot easier than he does. Um, and then of course you had all the retcons and comments of like why he's fucked up. But um, I think She-Hulk introduces that gauntlet, and then like this kind of carries on. Like, yeah, no, actually, like it wasn't really a solution of like the Professor Holt thing. It was just like a different way of controlling it. And I feel like this is definitely a direction you could have taken it because when later he does Hulk out because of Jean Grey, like the way Hulk and him talk about it, like Hulk and Bruce, like Bruce is freaking out and he's like, "Oh God, is everyone safe? Like get him out of the building. Like you don't understand. This is different." And like even Hulk is like there is no Banner, there's no girl, like it's me. And you're like, "Oh." Like it the way he says it almost is like yes, I'm finally back. Like as
Yeah,
if there was never an agreement.
Bruce maybe even like lied to himself, thinking that there was like, oh, I
Maybe.
fused us, but
Maybe. Like I
they just kind of shoved down Hulk,
yeah.
and they make a point to be like, oh, Hulk is bigger than he has been.
Yeah. I will say I don't and it could just be because like Spider-Man is short. So I was like, is he? Like I mean he looks muscular.
Yeah, he's got like a little bit more
I feel like
stronger
maybe
body
like
than he's had, and he did look bigger to me.
I'd
Um,
say he did look bigger compared to Spider-Man, but also I was like, Spider-Man's a short guy.
yeah,
But
him and Hulk don't really like talk
ever have
much.
scenes? Yeah.
Yeah,
Which also that goes into one of my issues later is that in during the fight, I will say the fight where uh before that Jean is controlling Hulk, well controlling Bruce Hulk. Um and it's like a fun little thing where like Spider-Man's kind of fighting him. And then Punisher shows up and he's doing nothing to him. And
yeah, it's like
it was so funny to me because like the two things with John Bernthal Punisher that I know and is like kind of commonly said on the internet, right, is like he's arguably like one of the better Punisher actors. And then also the majority of his performance is him shooting a big gun and going
yeah.
the whole time he shows up to shoot Hulk. He's sitting there with this big gun and he's like he's it's like, bro, you're not helping the allegation. Like you're just
I think even Spider-Man's like, bro, you cannot be here.
yeah, no, yeah,
This isn't you.
yeah. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, and he's like, first off, why are you here? Like, you don't ever get involved in this stuff. You don't care about this stuff. Why are you here? And he's like, well, the girl MJ, she told me to like help you out. And he's like, Really? And then he's like, oh, you blushing? And it's like Frank not being this
They
like
have
insane
such a great
monster. Like,
rapport in this movie.
yes, no, yeah,
Like
they're
you can kind of
so
feel that like Tom Holland and John Bernthal have kind of like been friends for like 10 years.
yeah.
Like, and if you didn't know, they kind of came up acting together. They did like a
They
bunch
really.
of movies before they got popular. Yeah.
Oh, I
Uh,
didn't know that because I
where
know
were we?
because I just know that like they've both been in Marvel projects, and then also like I know they did other stuff, of course, obviously, but I also know, like, I think they're both in the Odyssey, aren't they?
Yeah, they're having a great week.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a movie together in 2017.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they talked about it during their Hot Ones interview. And like John Bernthal was like, "I'm gonna go method. My character's mute. I'm not gonna talk. I need your help, Tom Holland, to be like my voice." And they've got
Oh,
some hijinks that happened while they were filming that.
oh, that's pretty fun.
Yeah,
But
like
yeah, no, there's
they've
definitely.
known each other for almost 10 years. They've been friends,
Oh wow.
and now they're in Marvel together. They're in the Odyssey together, and you can feel like how comfortable they are with each other.
Oh
Like
yeah, and like the
they
way
kind of
like
naturally bounce off.
yeah, and I love, and maybe it's because with Spider-Man he has the superpower, so he can easily keep Frank in check. Meanwhile, Daredevil is like a man to man. Like yeah, he has this sonar and the hearing and everything, but it's like he's still kind of just a guy.
Yeah, like if Punisher chains
So
Spider-Man
like
to a roof, he flexes a little bit and the chains pop.
yeah, yeah, and so like yeah, so for Punisher, he's like, Frank, you don't understand. This is what we have to do. Spider-Man's like, I webbed you to the wall. Shut up.
Yeah,
You're there for 5 minutes. Be quiet. Like timeout for you, bud.
and they've had a history. before this movie. They
Yeah,
keep referencing
yeah.
something that happened on Staten Island.
A fucking course, Staten Island.
Yeah,
It's always Staten Island.
man who's been to 2 states,
No.
3.
Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska,
Oklahoma doesn't
DC.
count.
Oklahoma counts. It's just Ohio. It doesn't count.
Ohio's more different than Oklahoma is.
No, Ohio's not real.
Okay,
Anyways, Spider-Man.
he genuinely believes that, by the way.
No, I don't.
Yeah, he failed
It's the
junior English because of it.
um, English,
Had to retake it.
bro. I've never failed a class. You're actually insane.
Sure,
In high school.
sure. The comments you were sleeping, you just didn't even notice the F. You
No,
kept catching
but
T's.
no, but no, yeah, they play off each other incredibly well. But yeah, no, Frank is like even Spider-Man's like, you're doing nothing to him, dude. You gotta get out of here. And then there's the really funny scene where Hulk like stomps his foot and he's like, oh shit.
And Spider-Man has to like web him and drag him away.
Yeah, and of course he's still firing away. But then like yeah, then afterwards they like reconvene and he's like, listen, like you go after Jean and I'm gonna stay here and fight Hulk. Or you stay
And
and
I'll
fight Hulk and
get
I'll go
within
and I'll
33 feet of her.
and then immediately gets within 33 feet of her.
Yeah. He looks right. Oh shit.
Yeah. But also like I just love he's like, hey, I'll go after her, you stay and take care of the Hulk. And he's like, is it just because you don't want to fight the Hulk? And he's like, yeah. And it's like,
Also,
yeah, no, like what are you gonna
even
do,
Jean,
bro?
even Jean's smart enough not to put the Punisher back into that fight.
Yeah.
She's not like, oh, catch them while they're off guard. They're like, no, that's fucking Spider-Man and the Hulk. You're not doing anything. You're gonna come
Yeah.
in
I
here
will
fighting
say
this.
one thing I kind of wished that happened during that fight is because whenever in the comics when Spider-Man, I don't know if it's when he first fights the Hulk or just in one scene where Spider-Man fights the Hulk. There's a scene where Spider-Man is on Hulk's back, pummeling away at him, and he beats Hulk because he holds out. Like Hulk is putting this man through walls and buildings and all sorts of shit, and Spider-Man's just still wailing on him because he's like, no, I can't give up. Like I have to beat the Hulk right here. And it's a really cool scene, and I kind of wanted something like that, but narratively, I guess it wouldn't really make sense. But
He had
also,
like the
I don't.
inhibitor chip, and he was trying to put on for most of the
Yeah, and
movie.
that's fine. Which yeah, which of course, if you've seen the movie, you know what we're talking about. But yeah, he made some inhibitor chip to help control his own hormones because he's got the spider and the human, and the plan was to put it on Jean so he can suppress her mutant abilities, um, which I have a beef with here in a second. We
I
can
was
talk about
really
it, but
scared they were gonna do a thing where it's like, oh, Spider-Man invents mutant inhibitor collars.
I think that's what they're gonna do.
Well, because it gets crushed.
Yeah, but it's like you first off, you don't think they fucking took that technology and they were like,
That lab's destroyed.
brother, the cloud, internet, like these motherfuckers aren't like we kept it on the floppy disk and now they broke it.
No,
Like I don't know.
it really kind of seemed like that kind of
But
project was that guy's alone.
maybe. But yeah, no, I also we'll get into all the Jean Grey stuff here in a minute. Um but yeah, whenever he's fighting the Hulk though, like Hulk's got this man on the run. Like he's having a web swing and like the way he fights him is pretty fun because like Hulk throws him out the building, so he just like web swings around and kicks him and like
Yeah, he's
wraps him
like
up
coming in like
around the
windows and
building.
shit.
Yeah, and it's fun. My only beef is that like there's the bit later near the end of the fight where Hulk like has him, like he's got his head in his hands, like choking this man out, and Peter's like, and it's a cool thing because you can kind of see his eye in it, and so he's like looking at the Hulk, and he's like, Bruce, like it's me, it's your friend, it's Peter, and then he just kind of drops it, and he's like, oh, and then he like calms down and like lets himself fall, but it's like I feel like they're trying to do a nod to the whole thing of like when Peter in the comics made the wish or got the spell, and then later, like
Just
Hulk was like,
deal
"Thanks,
with the
Peter."
devil.
Yeah, yeah, deal with the devil to kill his family or his relationship and his daughter,
Mm,
unborn daughter.
Yeah, to bring the
Um,
500-year-old woman back.
yeah. Um, but uh, well, to be fair,
I
that's
think
a later deal. But
no,
um,
that's that deal.
no, because it doesn't wipe away his identity. It's another book because Marvel got mad, or because people got mad at Marvel for making him give away a deal with the devil to and everything. And so they made like a different thing where it's they like retconned it where like MJ, I guess it is that kind of deal maybe because like MJ
No,
like
I think
when
it's the
because
deal
there's a moment.
because his secret identity goes away, and they don't like know to kill Aunt May, so it like never happens. I think.
I think that's how that works. I don't know. It's shit and it's bad and it's dumb and no one likes it and it's stuck with what we had
Because
and we're
let's
stuck
be
with
honest, Doctor Strange could have done something.
it. Yeah, also, yeah.
You're telling me
Um,
Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, even if you want to like, oh, Tony Stark, Reed Richards, they were on the wrong side of the Civil War, so they're not helping him. Doctor Strange wasn't. Tell me he could do something.
also like afterwards, like maybe comic Tony would, but you're telling me no one's gonna be like, well, sorry, Peter, you were on the wrong side of history, pal.
Well, that's actually what happens in the comic. It's Peter Parker
Is it?
goes to Tony and he's like, "Please help her," and Tony's like, "The only reason I'm not bringing you in right now is out of respect for her." And then
I always
he's like, "But I'm
always
not
forget how much of
revealing,"
an
and then he
asshole.
leaves.
I always forget how much of an asshole Tony Stark is in the comics before Robert Downey Jr. got him.
Not even just before Robert Downey Jr. It's like he's like a lovable asshole for a while, and then like the year like and then like the towers fall, and they're like, "Well, you can't really be lovable anymore, right?" And it's like, "No, you can. You can still be fun." No, he's the Patriot in the Patriot Act. And he doesn't need to be. You could have a politician do that. No, it's Iron Man.
He's the Iron Patriot, the
Yeah,
Patriot.
he's gonna make a negative zone gulag. That's what Iron Man's gonna. That's what Iron Man does. And I don't think that's what Iron Man does because he didn't do this shit
And
before, and he hasn't done this shit after.
and unsurprisingly, Mark
They even had a second
Millar.
Civil War, and he was he was on the right side of that one.
Did Mark Millar write the second Civil War too?
Uh,
Because I was gonna say like unsurprisingly,
thanks.
Civil War is a Mark Millar comic, which if
It
you know
is.
Mark Millar, oh fucking of course it is. um, but yeah, why were oh yeah, because in the comments like there's a scene where Hulk's like, oh Hulk, remember you made Banner forget, um, like his identity and everything. And I feel like maybe they were trying to do that here, but it's kind of like why would this work? Like you haven't given us any sign that this is how that is,
I think
and
it's like vague enough where it could just be like Bruce stopping himself from killing someone who's calling himself a friend.
maybe, but I
And then
also feel
maybe you
like
can read into it, and maybe it can be expanded later, maybe. But it's vague
I feel
enough
like
that
what you
it
could have
makes
just
enough sense if you just say that.
I feel like you could have like solved a lot of that up by like have him say that and then like have Hulk just be like oh like friend of Hulk like Hulk finally getting that like love and respect that
Peter,
like he
why'd you
never
say
really
my
get.
name? And he gives
Yeah,
him the kryptonite spear.
right. But yeah, then yeah, so he lets him go and falls with the rubble of a building that was whipped around him. Um, which kind of so like whenever that rubble was falling down, I was like, and like his he was swinging around it and everything, and I was like, oh, he's gonna do like the Spider-Man one PS PlayStation game where like all the rubble's coming around and everything, but he's like whipping it all up and everything so that no one gets hurt or crushed as he fights the hole. So it's like him kind of like over timing, like
It's like a
being a
war on two
hero.
fronts.
Yeah. Uh, but like he just wrapped around the Hulk, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a good way of like making sure that gravel doesn't like fall on people. And then he like falls, and I was like, oh, never mind.
I think it's enough time that like any like the cops showing up, or like we probably shouldn't stand under that.
No, yeah, and like no one, it shows no one did get hurt. Like they even like have him like specifically like, they put Bruce on like a stretcher, and he's like, no one got hurt, no one but me. Anyone else? No one. That's great. Which I do like him like
I'm just gonna
worried
go
about it,
kill
but
myself now.
yeah, go to the Arctic with another gun. Maybe this one will work.
I don't have
Um,
a hot redhead to keep me company anymore, so guess I'll just fucking kill myself.
valid. No. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. And like I'd mentioned before, yes, Yelena Romanov. Does she have Black Widow's name?
They call her Black Widow. I don't think she has her last name.
Yeah.
I think it starts
Also,
with a
like I
B.
didn't realize she. I feel like yeah, Belikov or something,
Belova.
right? Belova. Okay. But yeah, she shows up and she's like operating out of a hot spring, which I was so confused when he shows up, and it's like just this like hot spring area, and like a Russian lady is talking, and I was like, what? I was like, who's he going to?
I kind of thought he was gonna go to Doctor Strange. Like
That would
everyone's
have
like, oh, it's like possession, so he goes to the magic guy.
that would have also made sense. But yeah,
And then
no. So he
you get
goes
that
to
little thing where he like they don't really know each other that well anymore. When he knows him as Spider-Man, like maybe that could be fun.
yeah,
I
but he
like
goes to
Yelena stuff in this.
oh you know she does fine. I mean, it's Florence Pugh, and she always does her best. And but yeah, she's in
Her
this
first
like
nude scene
hot.
in a Marvel movie.
I mean, you don't see nothing. Which I will hold on. I will say something here in a second. But yeah, so she's like in this hot tub, sauna, bath area, and she's like, "This is my office." Like, yeah, what do you need? Like, new Avengers, what's up? Um, and basically she just says like, "Yeah, this is like small potato stuff. That's your thing, your street level. That's small potatoes. We're new Avengers. We deal with big stuff. So you need to find out like what's what." But she explains like, "Oh, I have this like bathhouse is like my HQ, so that like you have to like trip and take a dip in the pool with me, so that I know you're not carrying any weapons." And it's funny because he goes and he changes out of his suit. He's still wearing his tidy whities, but he's got his mask on still.
Not tidy whities. He's wearing like sports briefs.
They're underwear. Um,
Yeah, that's what
Not tidy
briefs
whities.
are.
Well, I guess I guess I'm thinking of boxer briefs where it's like they're longer. But anyways, um,
I think he just has fucking huge thighs.
no, because they're not like boxer briefs. They are like underwear.
Yeah, it's like they're like sports briefs. They're like the
Hold
skin
on,
tight
okay.
ones, like breathable.
I'm gonna look up sports briefs. Hold on.
Like, cause that's like what I wear.
TMI.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
They're
first off,
like the longer one. Yeah, like the
I real quick, I want to say I looked up sports brief, dude, and the first one I seen is like
yeah.
basically a jockstrap, and then the rest of them are just like actual normal like
Like
underwear.
this like
Okay.
sports boxer briefs, dude.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes.
And then he's
Okay.
got
Yes.
these
Yeah. He's
bulbous
wearing.
thighs, so
Yeah. But yeah. So he's wearing those,
and his
and
mask.
he's wearing and his mask, and she's like, "Oh, you don't ever really take that off, huh?" And he takes a dip in, and there's a scene as they're talking that I was
He
like,
feetsies up.
yeah, he puts his fucking toes up in the camera, and I was like, bruh. And it's a funny moment because it's kind of like him. He's trying to like kind of get comfortable, and like it's
I
an
do that
awkward
a lot.
moment for him. Well, yeah, I do that too, but it's like I was like, dude, you know for a fact there's some people on the internet who are like, oh, who are
I think
going
he's gonna be able to
berserk.
get his feet are probably out there.
Probably, I don't know. Knowing
He's in
Christopher
fucking
Nolan,
sandals or something.
I respect, or the idea you think Christopher Nolan put him in fucking sandals. I would not be
Yeah,
surprised if that
like
motherfucker
Nike
was like.
trainers.
I would not be surprised, dude. Like, I hate the armor. I'd like the armor for the Odyssey if it wasn't for an actual retelling of the Greek Odyssey, but instead like a like adaptation that takes place in like a maybe semi-futuristic like Roman Greco inspired time period or something. Like the armor looks so like almost sci-fi in a way, and it's like also just no color. It's like all grays and blacks and
Yeah,
dark
everything was in
grays.
black and white back then.
It was not. They were very colorful.
Hello?
Hey Colby,
I can leave if I need to. Just thought I'd see what's going on.
we're talking about the new Spider-Man, kind of doing a podcast.
Oh, I'll get out. I'll get out.
I'll say I'll message you later if you want to do something.
Sounds like a plan. Hasta la
Alrighty, man.
vista, boys.
Hasta la
Later.
vista, brother.
Gotta buff up our security around here.
I saw because I'm in all my cousins' fucking discords. Um, I saw some of them online, and I was like thinking to myself, I was like, man, maybe we should make another channel on this Discord that's like do not disturb. But I was like, if it happens,
Or we could
we'll
have just
worry
done
about
like
it
a
later.
Discord call instead of a voice channel.
Oh yeah, I always forget that can happen. Um, but yeah, where were we talking about?
Toes.
Oh, toes. His toes. Yeah, he puts his fucking toes up. Um, what does he get from Yelena? I'm isn't she just kind of like it's small potato stuff. You
I think
figure
you
it
get
out,
more information later.
Yeah. But
Like
yeah,
the
no,
first
like
meeting, I
yeah,
think it's just kind of establishing that they're talking, and then he.
that's fair. I guess. Yeah.
She's like, she kind of like confirms that like, it's possession. It's not like mind control like the Black Widows were.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's why he went to her because he was trying to see if it was like possibly mind control like the Black Widows. That's right. Um,
Why didn't he go to Senator Bucky Barnes?
I want you to say that line again and really think if that was the right thing to ask.
I mean, he could take an extended
Is he?
recess from. Also, is he even a senator anymore?
I was gonna say, is he even a senator anymore? Also, Ian, you have to remember our senators work hard, long, struggling days, and they never, ever, ever take breaks or extended vacations or ever really do nothing besides make our lives worse.
True, he'd have to be there for the votes. You can't miss a vote
Yeah,
normally.
yeah. Except for whenever they did. Um,
Nah, they never did.
but yeah. So Yelena's in here. Of course, Thor, not Thor. That would be crazy.
Yeah, the Thor shows
Hulk.
up. He's doing the bad things at a coffee shop.
Eh, is that the man of spiders?
No, he just doesn't have a
Um,
line. He was just drinking coffee with his daughter.
eh, but
Honestly, there should be
yeah. So
more
you got.
like those cameos in Marvel movies,
Yeah, I
where it's
agree.
like,
I will say
oh,
that's what
that's
that's what.
Charlie Cox. Like I can clearly see that's Charlie Cox, but he's like taking a call on a corner.
Yeah,
He's
and
waiting for the beeping that says he's allowed to cross, and he's just on the phone.
I'll say there's definitely a lot of moments in this movie that make New York like it because the charm of Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire, is that there's many moments where like New York feels alive and like it has character, and the past three films have not felt that at all. Um,
Yeah,
and
the
this one did a
closest you get
great job.
is that like that first act little montage in Homecoming,
Where
where
he's
like
like
swinging
Spider-Man,
around.
do it.
He like stops the bike thief and stuff, and
Yeah, but like
like
even
wipes the
that,
guy who's trying to get into his own car, and it wakes up like all the whole
yeah,
neighborhood looks out their window and stuff. Then you never really get
yeah,
it
but
with.
like that. Also, it didn't even feel like that was like building up New York as a character. It just kind of felt like we need a montage of him doing stuff.
I don't know. I
Well,
feel
this
like
one,
it like tells a lot about New York and kind of plays into the friendly neighborhood thing. And
I don't
then
know. I didn't.
the duo flip guys later in Shang Chi.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, he's on the bus.
Thank God I had to wait for another like fucking 5 years for
Yeah, that's steady work, man.
that.
He got paid a whole $16. of scenes.
But uh, yeah, so Hulk is in here, Punisher's in here, uh, Sadie Sink as Jean Grey. So yes, it was rumored to be. People theorized it.
She's not the
They never,
redheaded Punisher girl,
yeah, which
which she was never gonna be. Let's be
yeah,
entirely honest with ourselves.
yeah. First, yeah, they would never do that. But also, I don't think John Bernthal will be like, yes, I want a sidekick.
Yeah.
Like this is mind you, this is the same guy who's like, you take naps.
I
Like, bro has.
I love when celebrities have shit like that, where it's like you didn't like rape somebody at a party in like 2014 or something. You just don't understand naps, like conceptually,
Yeah.
and they make you kind of mad, and it's like okay, yeah, that
No. Yeah.
more of that.
Yeah. It's definitely like don't get me wrong, I 100% prefer that over the first thing you said. Um, 100%, no doubt. But yeah, no. Also, it's just like it's like like you can tell the way he talks about it in that clip. He absolutely was caught napping one time, and like a different guy was like, "What, you take a nap?" He's like, "No, no, I don't take fucking naps."
I was brushing my
And
arms.
yeah, and now he's carrying that shit into in that clip because like he's doing that to give another guy shit over taking naps, and it's like, dude, it's that it's almost like that. I hate saying it, but it's like the toxic masculinity of like making something that everyone fucking does like effeminate or demasculating it and giving someone shit for it, and it's like, brother, everyone takes a fucking nap.
Not him.
Everyone does it. Yes, no,
He's got eight.
I
He's got
do,
8 hours a
I,
day. That's it. That's all he needs.
I, I don't believe this motherfucker never has taken a nap.
I can believe it.
But, uh,
I'll trust John Bernthal on this.
but, but yeah, um, yeah, John Bernthal is here. Oh yeah, yeah, Sadie Sink. Yeah, yeah, she plays Jean Grey.
The
My
first confirmed mutant. I guess Kamala Khan, right?
No, Kamal Khan. Yeah, Kamal Khan was the first confirmed mutant.
First, like
Which also
first
she's not even,
X-Men character.
yeah, first X-Men character, because she's not even confirmed a mutant. They just say like, oh, she has
And it's like, yeah,
powers.
she's got like a mutation, or they use the word.
I don't think they do. I think the
They
only
do at
thing
the
they,
end of Miss Marvel.
no, I know, I mean Jean Grey.
Yeah, Jean Grey. We know she's a mutant because she's Jean Grey.
Yeah, but they don't say that she's a mutant, and they don't even like talk. They don't even use mutation for anything with her. They like the only thing close to that we get is like when she's like kind of using more of her power. They're like, oh, her power is evolving, and it's like
Yeah. I think
you really couldn't use mutating.
I
Also,
could.
it's like,
You kind of introduce a character like that, and you're like, oh, there's superpowers, so it's just another person with superpowers. And then when we eventually get an X-Men movie, they can be like, oh, this is like different.
also, am I crazy? Does Jean Grey have a sister?
She might have.
Because I'm pulling it up right now. Hold on. First off, I love because I looked up Jean Grey, and I love that I am under affiliations and relationships. The
Since
first thing is
1980.
and ancestors, Hans Knobloch, siblings, Sarah. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
so it
Gray
goes since
Bailey.
1980.
Who's oh, this is Sarah and her husband Paul.
Yeah, not that Paul.
Yeah, I know. But okay, that's interesting. Didn't know that. Okay, so that's less of a nitpick, I guess, because I was like, do not, I've never heard of this character, and I don't know if this is. I will say one thing I don't like.
Even if she was new, I kind of don't care. It's
I I care a little bit, mainly just because one. So one beef I have with it is like, because I sincerely believe Secret Wars is gonna reboot the MCU. I feel like we have a lot of actors who aren't interested, a lot of actors that can get in, a lot of actors who like contracts may be up in the
I
air.
think at least a soft
Eh,
reboot.
I would say I think it's gonna be a soft reboot where like anyone who wants to stay is just gonna get rolled over. New characters will come in, and we're not gonna get like another Captain America one. It'll just be like, oh yeah, this is Steve Rogers. Because I genuinely don't think Marvel's gonna keep Sam Wilson as Captain America.
And it's a damn shame.
No, yeah.
I support my
Um,
captain in this house, and my captain is black and has wings
oh yeah, really?
and talks to birds sometimes.
Does it do that in the MCU, or is it just the comics?
He had the drone that one time,
You
and
said
that
bird.
other second time. Yeah, he calls it Red Wing though, so it's like kind of a bird.
Yeah, but yeah, but in the comics, it's like an actual eagle
Yeah,
or
he has
falcon.
like a telepathic connection with birds in the comics. Yeah, and also Red Wing is
Oh,
a
he.
vampire in the comics. Yeah,
What the fuck?
don't make me say it again.
That is everything a fucking vampire at once in Marvel?
Yeah, everybody has their turn, and
I'll
nobody
say yeah
has
too.
ever thought to make the bird not a vampire anymore.
That's really funny. Um, okay. Uh, yeah. So I think they're going to reboot it. So my issue is like, don't introduce Jean Grey when the next movie that's coming out is bringing the Fox X-Men.
Yeah,
Because
it
like
really makes me wonder
because
if
I don't think we're going. I don't think when they reboot we're going to be keeping Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen,
yeah,
and
because
Cyclops actor.
we got Emma Frost casting. We
Wait, what?
announced that like today, I think.
Oh shit.
Um,
Oh my god. Wait, hold on. Because I saw a Rogue casting thing. Is that real?
Samara Weaving. I haven't seen anything rogue. Uh, Samara Weaving is the choice to play Emma Frost in the next X Men.
Oh, okay. That's not a bad choice. I don't
Yeah,
know how good of an actress she is. I saw.
I've heard her name around. I'd have to look to see if I've seen her in anything.
I'll say the one thing that I saw a lot of people saying was the Odessa Zion.
Yeah.
I don't I don't know if that's real.
Oh, she's in Snake Eyes, Michael. So she's great.
Odessa is?
No, Samara Weaving.
Ooh.
She's also in
Oh, is she
Babyface the music, and I really like that movie.
is she the one white woman in that movie of Snake
Bill and
Eyes?
Ted, yeah.
Oh, she's the fucking hide and go seek movie lady. Where it's like
Yeah, it looks like she's
it's
done
a
a lot
horror
of
movie.
like she's doing a bunch of horror movies. GI Joe, Ever Vigilant, which isn't out yet. Okay.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
And I was like, was there a
Um,
GI Joe movie with The Rock in it? And I clicked it,
yeah,
and
there
it's like
was.
upcoming.
Well, he was also in Retaliation, or like
Nobody gives a shit
whatever the
about
second.
Retaliation.
It was the second one of those because they didn't get Channing Tatum back, so they like killed him off screen, and then they put Rock as the lead as a roadblock, and it was like
And then it all got rebooted with Beast Wars or whatever.
Bumblebee.
And no, Beast Wars.
I thought in Bumblebee they had a scene where like it was like,
No, the end credit scene for Beast Wars is the join the GI Joes or whatever. Bumblebee is like entirely self-contained.
I don't know why I thought I could look up Bumblebee GI Joe and think I wouldn't just get Bumblebee as a GI Joe tank or something. That's on me. Egg on my face. Okay, but anyways, back to Spider-Man and everything.
Back to
I
the Beast.
because I
Not Beast Wars. Rise of the Beasts.
yeah yeah, but because yeah I generally think they're gonna reboot and because you're not gonna bring whatever his name is who plays Cyclops in those movies and have
James
him
Marston, the guy who
James
got
Marsden.
cucked by Superman.
Was he the guy who got cut by Superman in Superman Returns?
Yep.
Oh wow,
He wasn't in Days of Future Past, I think, because he
he was
was
doing that
talking
movie.
about being Superman.
Oh, um, but yeah,
Oh no, he gets killed in 3 super early
yeah,
because he wanted to do Superman Returns, and they
Okay,
they couldn't
I was
stick
like,
around any longer.
okay, because yeah, I was like, Days of Future Past like came out afterwards, but maybe it got pushed back. I don't know, but uh, yeah, I don't think they're
Sometimes
gonna
I
have
miss it,
him,
but I was
and
young.
I don't think they're gonna have him play off Sadie Saint's Jean Grey. Um, but also like my main beef with her being because it's like okay, oh, so is she gonna get rolled over with this reboot? And granted, that's just me
Yeah,
summarizing. It's gonna be a reboot, but like, is she gonna get carried over? Are we just gonna get a new casting? And also, like, I don't.
I'm sure
I'm
they got her for 5 movies. Like that's just
probably,
like how they do.
but also it's like I don't. I don't think. Or hold on. I don't like how they did Jean Grey in this. I feel like you could have done maybe a different mutant. Um, because I don't because one, I and maybe I don't know this because I will admit I love X-Men. I don't I have not looked a lot into Jean Grey's past and everything. I don't hate her like a lot of X-Men fans do. I'm not like a ride or die. Like I will admit when I think of Cyclops as like love, I do think Jean Grey. Um,
Actually, she's Wolverine's love.
I hate that to death. Fuck you. No, she's not. I hate that.
Yeah, her and
It's so
Laura
gross.
Kinney are great together.
That's such a wild shipping that I've never heard anyone ever say in my life, and that's such a crazy fucking thing to say. Um,
People were just
but
focused on
no,
the wrong thing.
I don't like her and Logan. It's gross to me. It's very predatory. It's a man who's like hundreds of years old dating a girl. Because also like they change like when Wolverine meets her sometimes. And so like sometimes she is like a high schooler. Other times she's like maybe 20. Either way, it's very Leo DiCaprio. At worst, Woody Allen. And it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's
Like it I'm fine with Wolverine. Like we've talked about this before. I think to me the best Wolverine romance is Mariko. Is that her? The one from Japan,
Japanese woman.
the Japanese woman. Um, but yeah, I feel like it's a lot better of a romance, and like it, like
But
even in the
people will
comments, like
force
every time,
Jean just to make Scott mad.
yeah,
Just because
I'd
they're
be fine with
antagonize
that.
Scott.
Maybe I'd be fine with that, but like I don't know, and it could be because I grew up on X Men Evolution, which had the best form of this, where Wolverine was just a teacher, and he was no and just not interested in Jean at all.
Until she was 16 years old.
Yeah, and also, like, I feel like it's just another issue with Jean in the original X-Men comics is that everyone fucking wanted to be with her, and it's crazy because you had
Like
Cyclops,
in, like in the
you had
original
Cyclops, you
comics,
had
it's her and a bunch of 14-year-old boys.
well,
So
it's
it's
not
like,
even just that. It's not even just that. It's Cyclops, it's Beast, it's Angel, Iceman. I don't think, and then later they retcon it's because he's gay. Um, but then Professor X wants her, and it's like, that's your student.
you are an old bald man. You should
Yeah,
handle yourself.
and there's like several panels where he's like, I wish to tell her how I feel, but I cannot. And I think like because she's a telepath, she's like, oh God, my
But
teacher loves
also,
me.
like, she dies, and he's like, oh well, gotta go find
Yeah,
some new ones.
yeah,
Oh, she's still alive? Okay.
but then
Cool.
Wolverine likes her too, and it's just it's all this and it's so much, and it's like chill. She's a fucking high schooler, and I do like that she is like younger. At least, and it could be just because that's how Sadie Sink is. But um, I don't know if her
She's
sister
technically
is a mutant.
supposed to be younger than
Tom
Spider-Man in
Holland.
this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
But
Spider-Man,
he
not Tom
kind of
Holland.
takes on a mentor role
A little
at
bit,
the
yeah.
very end.
Or
I
like
did
like
like
almost
that.
like a
I like Spider-Man teaching other superheroes stuff.
yes, yes.
Because like if he's been doing it for so long, he should have some words of wisdom. At
Yeah,
the
it
very
kind of gave
least,
him a
at best, he should be able to like teach people to throw a punch.
yeah. And I think I do like how it's handled. I just I what I my main thing is I don't like about it is the potential of X-Men stuff. because I feel like because one of the issues with all the X Men films is that the original five aren't ever really characters. Like
I think me and my dad talked about
Cyclops,
this when we left Spider-Man. This is like a kind of a perfect lead-in to like using the original cast for X Men
yes, no, and
films.
I was
So
thinking about
and
that because
she's
like,
like the last one to join or something.
well, that's because she is
Yeah,
in the comics. She's the they're all training, and then Xavier's like, "Our new students arriving," and then she like
oh, they're
walks
all
in, and they're like, "Oh,"
goo 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 goo.
yeah, yeah, eyes bulge out of her head, tongue rolls out, all that kind of steam blows out like a whistle. Um, but yeah, no, it's uh, I definitely think that might be where they're leading up to, especially because like when the movie ends, she's like she's like in a bus heading upstate. It looks like,
Yeah, like my dad
which is
almost
like
thought that the end credit scene was gonna be Charles Xavier like at a bus stop.
I really thought so too. I was like, so the end credit scene's definitely gonna be like Xavier being like they don't show him, but they tease the wheelchair rolling up to her. Um, but because and maybe I don't because like I said, I don't know all of Jean Grey's origin. I'm used, and I will admit that's on me. Maybe I need to learn it. I'm used to like the
Fox
Fox.
Jean Grey.
Yes, I'm used to Fox Jean Grey, and so like while she is terrible, I do like the notion that like she's this only child. Her parents are scared, but they still care about her. And these two, I mean, you could just even do it, Xavier, but like this man is here and he's like, I can actually help your daughter. And I feel like
If by
him,
help her,
because
I mean
because
kick the problem down the road, and it will
yes,
eventually kill me.
because I want to say because yes, I do feel like one thing that I want from an MCU X-Men, and we can do a whole video talking about like how we'd want MCU X-Men. Um, or even just like how would we reboot the MCU? I don't think about that would be a fun thing to do. But what one thing I want from Xavier is that I would want him to be a man who wants to do good, but in trying to do good, does bad by these students. Because like yes, like he wants this like these heroes to save people so that humans can be like, wow, these mutants are cool. But by doing so, like yeah, Cyclops becomes like a child soldier, and he has to deal with this like these like expectations of being this like great leader when he's like 14.
Yeah, like he's hitting puberty and fighting life to death battles at the same time.
Yeah, and it's like these are all great things, and I think the idea of like having a Jean Grey who kind of comes from like this loving home and then being thrust into this life with Xavier where he comes off like he's loving and caring, and then you reveal like later down the line like no, like I actually have been mentally suppressing you because you are more powerful and I didn't think you could handle it. And this betrayal and like maybe even have some more shit where it's like where like maybe like you can even implement like yeah, some shit didn't go right, so I wiped y'all's mind.
And
Like
yeah,
hey, mission didn't go right. Y'all were really taking it badly, but I needed y'all to be on your A game, so I just removed that from your memory.
yeah.
And having this like betrayal, one adds more to Jane's character, but also like to Xavier, to the other X-Men,
And then
and having
Cyclops killing him eventually on the big
that
screen.
that'd be incredible. I'd love that.
And then having him stay fucking dead instead of coming back to terrorize us.
um, but yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like because I feel like she's I don't know. Like I said, it's me worried about how she's going to be implemented into an X-Men movie if they ever do one.
I
Um,
think you can't think about that in regards to this movie.
Yeah, I know, and that's definitely my problem. I do think she is done very well. I think Jean Grey is used decently. Um,
Especially like at the end, she's like literally breathing for Spider-Man while he's in the hospital.
yes, yeah. So near the end of the movie, uh,
He gets a
Jean,
360 karate
Jean,
by Punisher.
he does not get 360. Jean
Watch
does
that
this like
crazy
giant.
buckshot tomahawk. It's
She does this
wild.
giant mental wave that freezes people, and I don't know if mentally messes with them or just they're stuck frozen because we see
I think
MJ.
probably a mix of both because we see her like crack out all the glass and stuff. So
Yeah.
she very much did awaken telekinesis. Uh,
Well, she was already
so
telekinetic.
we don't
They said
when
that.
we see her telekinetic earlier in the movie. We just see her jump between bodies.
Well, they say that. They say she's like telekinetic.
We never see it.
Which also like, which also like, she's not really jumping between bodies. She's just mind controlling them because everything she does,
I mean, she's like,
they do.
yeah, sometimes. She can't
Sometimes
control them separately. She's not like in there miming the Hulk.
she kind of was.
No.
She wasn't doing. She wasn't doing everything, but like, there's literally
She's
the scene
like
where like,
sitting in the car.
well, even in the
She's
car,
like,
she even in the car,
she's
she's like, she's
speaking,
talking,
but she's
and the
not
guy's
like,
speaking too.
yeah, but she's not like, it's not like a thing where she is like literally like mirroring her actions onto the
No,
person. She can
but
control
then
them separately.
to an extent, yeah, that we see. But yeah, yeah, she's just kind of mind controlling them. She's not really, because I feel like possessing it means like you leave yourself to go into someone else.
Does
I feel like,
Danny Phantom leave himself when he possesses somebody?
well, that's also like him physically entering someone. She's not doing that either. She's just mentally hijacking their mind,
Yeah, I think it's still like still
which
possession.
I don't know. It's it's a weird thing to do, and that's another reason why I kind of didn't think it was going to be Jean Grey and didn't want it to be Jean Grey because I was like, that's not. She doesn't really do that. Like her whole thing for a while was like, I can lift stuff up with my mind, and then they were like, hey, actually, Jane, by the way, the professor like put a fucking safety lock on your brain. Let's get that door open. And then she was like, I can do everything. And the Phoenix was like, yo, free vacancy?
Free real estate.
Yeah. And then, you accidentally kill a solar system and the Galactic Empire
You
gets
only
mad
do
at
it
you.
one time. You do it one time.
Yeah.
You don't get a one? Tell me you don't get a
Yeah,
one.
sorry the eternal like being that has existed throughout all of time did the thing that it always does, but just inside of a human body. Ooh, sorry guys.
Are you gonna
Didn't
get
realize
mad because
those.
Phoenix fucked Odin too?
Yeah, didn't get mad about that one. GR won't mad about that. Um,
Double standards. It's crazy.
yeah, it's because they're mutants, aren't they?
Exactly.
But yeah, no, and then yeah, like we talked about, there's Spider-Man when talking to the Hulk, learns about his gauntlet. That's like, oh, it's like an inhibitor thing. So he makes an inhibitor chip to help control a spider and human sides, and he tries to use that to control Jean, which he does. And yeah, like you said, I was really worried, and I was like, I'm hoping they don't, but I feel like it's at least introducing that so that we can get there of like the government or just damage control
I feel like
getting
they're
their
gonna be the ones
hands.
that make the Sentinels in this universe.
Yeah, I genuinely was like expecting like the dude's name to be like was it Stryker?
Trask.
Trask, that's what it is. Well, who's Stryker?
Stryker is
Isn't
the Wolverine guy. Like the Weapon X.
yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah, I was thinking it'd be like Trask or something. But maybe that would have been too on the nose and would have given up the Jean Grey role before they were like, her name's Jean Grey. One thing I will say that I also didn't like and shows you just kind of how not fleshed out as a character MJ is the scene where she helps him out with the inhibitor chip. Because in Homecoming, she's like, because let's be real, because I think he even said, like, I'm trying to do Breakfast Club with Spider Man. And the character that ends up becoming MJ in that movie, because she was like Michelle. Like Michelle Jones is her name.
Yeah, her name is Michelle Jones Watson, but
Yeah.
probably like a Watson's her dad's last name, and
Yeah, because
MJ's
in
dad's a big
Homecoming,
asshole, so
or,
she
yeah,
doesn't like going by it.
yeah. But before that, she's like, she's like that weird goth chick from Breakfast Club in a way, but updated. So she's like, I don't do this dumb high school stuff. She just takes photos and hangs out in the bleachers.
That's not the goth chick from Breakfast Club.
Well, yeah,
I
no,
don't
I'm
know
saying
what
that
you meant.
I know. I'm saying she's like the modern equivalent of that in Homecoming.
We've got modern equivalents, and that's
I know,
fucking
but
Tumblr shippers.
yeah, I know. But the thing is, that's what I think John Watts had said when he was making Homecoming. Is like he was like, I want to do like the Breakfast Club with Spider-Man. So that would be the closest comparison if you're going to go there.
I think it was
And
more
it's very
Ferris
clear.
Bueller.
I'm not going to sit here and discuss the fucking whatever John Hughes movies. Um, what I'm just trying to say is that it's very clearly she's like this rebel outcast character who doesn't fuck with the school. So it's like, okay. Then Far From Home happens, and we're just told like, yeah, I like her, and she kind of likes me, sort of maybe, and I want to ask her out, um, and I want to get her this gift. And it's like, okay, we're already jumping to this. I mean, heck, you guys just kind of met last movie. Um, and it's okay. We don't really see her do much. I think she says she figures out he's Spider-Man, but I don't remember her figuring. I think maybe it kind of happens like at the same time he reveals he's Spider-Man to her, so it's like they both are like,
Yeah.
aha. Um, and then in Far From Home or No Way Home, god damn it, dude, seriously, like having the home fame be a connecting piece is kind of fun, but having to remember these names is just as bad as discussing the Spider-Verse movies, where you're like, is it into or across? Um,
I
but
don't have any issue
and
with
then
it.
I trip up over them because I'm like into, beyond, across. No, it's across, into.
Yeah,
No,
Beyond. Yeah.
but uh, yeah, and then in No Way Home, they're trying to get into MIT, and you don't know nothing about this MJ. And then this one, she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in aerospace, but before that, I was doing biochemistry." And I was like, "What?"
I mean, she was
Like, if
in
anything,
the fucking
the
what
yellow
do you
jacket nerd thing.
yeah.
Yeah, but
She
like
even
that
answered
just
the
kind of
final
felt like,
question.
yeah, I guess so. But even then, like that, let's be real here. It's fucking high school science. It's like, what's the mitochondria?
What'd you get on AP Bio?
AP Bio, I passed. Also, AP Bio is not high school. AP Bio is
We
like
took it in
fucking
high school.
advanced. Yeah, because our school was an AP like school.
That'd
They
be the
took us.
level of like people traveling for an event like that. They're not
First
they're
off, it's a
not
movie.
doing yeah.
They have Spider-Man and the Vulture flying around, brother. It's a fucking made-up film where they're like, how are we gonna put these
Yeah, but
characters in these situations?
they're not doing like what's the powerhouse of the cell?
No, I know, but
Like
I'm trying to say like it's not as like advanced as like aerospace
I mean also they had a
or
couple years between that and graduating high school and
yeah, but it's
I think
it's
if we can
first off, it's
accept that Peter Parker can build web shooters, I can believe that Mary Jane did aerospace engineering in college. She got accepted in MIT.
Michelle Jones.
Sherman. I'm fucking
But yeah,
breathing
no,
fire
it's
for this right now, so half my brain is on the
oh, but yeah, no, it's very much like I don't know. Wish we could have gotten more so it wasn't as like, oh, that's interesting because it almost felt like it should have been like a Ned and him scene, but also like we need him to be with MJ. I don't know. It was just weird to me. I was like, oh, didn't know you were into that.
I was
I mean,
fine
don't
with
get me
it.
wrong. I know I'm fine with it too. I just wish we gotten more of it. It just kind of felt a little bit like with how Far From Home was like, yeah, we're like kind of been into each other for months now and dating or whatever, and now want to like make it official
I think
or
it
something,
also kind of plays into that he kind of doesn't know what she's been up to that much. They have been separated. There's been like
Yeah, but like
even the
he doesn't.
glimpses he gets through like Ned's Instagram or whatever. She's
Yeah, but
had
like
his life at MIT.
he doesn't have any like, oh, really, like no reaction from him. I mean, she's just like, oh yeah, I did this. And he's like, okay.
He's like, I mean, he's like, he's not like super surprised. because it might have been
Yeah,
genuinely something they talked about in high school.
oh no, I'm not
Like,
saying he has to be surprised. I'm just saying like
like
I
you see
wish
the
we'd
reaction. He
gotten.
like gets happy. He's like, yeah, man, yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, she's like, "Do you mind if I help out?" And he's like, "Yeah." Like he's not. I'm not expecting Spider-Man to be like, "No."
No, I'm
Um.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. No. This is Spider-Man's like, actually, I hate women in STEM. But no, it's just I was like, "Well, okay," which I'm fine with. I think one of the issues with MJ as a character in general is that she is very because she in the comics started out as like the party girl who became an actor. They kind of just keep her in like these like pretty woman roles where it's like, and that's not saying like you can't be in science, be pretty. It's not that. What I'm trying to say is like they keep her at these like I guess entertainment levels or like beauty because like in the comics she's like owned a clothes store, been a model, she's been an actress, she was an assistant for Tony Stark for a while. Of course, like I said, actor already. Like all her roles have been like because of her appearance, and because of that, she comes off very shallow and not well full of depth for a lot of people until you actually read them and you learn there is depth to this character. But the issue is that Marvel doesn't do anything with that now. They're just kind of like, I mean, right now they're like, she Venom, make Venom with boobs and heels.
Have her hair out.
Yeah, boobs, heels, and hair out, and she got gold teeth. But yeah, no, I'm fine with like changing
You're
MJ.
fine with women in
I
STEM.
just I love women in STEM. We
Like
need
so,
more women in STEM. I really saying that I really sound like I had a gun in my head. I love
yeah,
women in
yeah,
STEM.
man. I like give me the line. I love it, man.
Women, women, women. Uh, but no, overall, like I said, I do like this movie. Also, and then you got the end credit scene. Um,
Like very end credit scene. Like there wasn't even a mid credits.
yeah, no, I was surprised, but I was thankful because like I had to pee so bad. Like I had I felt it kind of come up. Like God, I want to say like maybe maybe like when Jean, I think it was whenever Jean like first messes with MJ. I had to pee, and so I just held it for that whole time. Um, so that was a while. So I was like, I looked up like, hey, is there an credit scene? It's like, yep, at the very, very, very end. And I was like, oh, thank God. So I just bolted for the bathrooms. Had no problems. Oh, thank God. And we came back. But yeah, the end credit scene is the spider tracker,
Goes
and
out into space.
yeah, it like zooms out and goes out into space.
Oh yeah, we forgot
Which
about the final battle.
oh, also yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, literally one of my only nitpicks with this film is there's a moment in the final like physical battle against the Hand where
Yeah,
he like lets the the spider take over or whatever, and he like
he doesn't let it take over. He like channels it. So
he
it's kind
accepts it
of
or whatever, and
yeah, he kind of goes Avatar state.
yeah, like his web shooters get broken and he's about to lose. He takes off the inhibitor, and the way it goes in the film is guy comes and is like about to slash him with a sword, and he catches the sword with his web. Uh, and Jean Grey's she's in like in his head going like, "Oh, you're gonna leave the man behind. That's what you need to do." And he's like, "No, I'm both." And he like shatters the sword and he throws the guy up at like and there's like some like broken pipes or whatever
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna
on
stab
the
him.
fence. Yeah, and then he saves him. Uh, but how it should have gone is he catches the sword. She's doing that monologue. He gets the black eyes. He throws the guy, then catches him, and then goes, "No, I'm both." Because we've already heard the "I'm both" thing, so we know he's not going to let the guy die. But we've seen him kind of like get mad and do things Peter Parker would normally do because of the spider earlier in the film.
Yeah.
So you kind of have if you don't have that line right there, there's at least a little bit of tension that like maybe that's going to happen again.
Fair. Yeah, no, it definitely is because it's. I was expecting him kind of let the full spider take over and then try to rein it back in, but like him channeling it and like kind of doing the both. I was definitely like, okay, that's what they're going with it. But yeah, no, like you said, like because I was also like, I was like, Peter, you're not gonna let that man get killed, right? I was like, that's not Peter. Why would they do that? And then he catches him, and I was like, okay, good. I was so because during that fight, he also then like goes up into the air and he does this like cool like web thing where he like puts his palm like the bottoms of his palms together and like kind of just moves them around so that the webs are flinging all over the place. And he creates these like this giant spider's web that wraps up all the hand, and he kind of flings them. They all get kind of caught up and everything. Um, at first, I was like, how do you know this is gonna work? And I was like, it's the spider. Like it already made a cocoon over him, so it should. But that
And it
instinct,
stripped him like naked, except for the
yeah,
arm.
yeah. Which also we didn't really talk about the organic webbing and all that stuff. I liked how they handled it. Uh, I like how he talked about Peter too, aka Tom McGuire, and he's like, "Well, he had organic webbing," and then he tries to. I really thought they were going to redo the like, fly web, fly, up
Yeah,
and
they did
away
kind of
web.
like a half that where he's like,
Yeah, he's trying to figure it out,
"Go,"
and yeah,
and they kind of
and then
fucked
he
up
like
on it.
tries to push it, and it like kind of just oozes out, and he's like,
Yeah, yeah.
and then like
His
whenever he kind of,
regret.
yeah, and then he kind of starts to figure it out, and there's moments where like you can tell he's still struggling with it, but he's like kind of locked in. And one of them is like where he's swinging MJ, and he's like even saying like he's whispering to himself like web go, web start, web stop, web go, web stop, web go.
Yeah,
And it's like it's a nice little thing because it shows you like he's still trying to figure it out. It's never once where he's just like, oh no, this is thing, but I'm actually still okay with it. His senses also get like messed up, so he gets like crazy heightened senses. So he's like overwhelmed. It's almost like in movies and shows where like Superman's super hearing first kicks in. I thought of it like that
Daredevil.
almost. Oh yeah, Daredevil's a perfect example. Yeah, it's like Daredevil,
Just because
basically.
him and Daredevil are going through kind of that exact thing in the comics right now. There was a couple issues ago in Spider-Man, his spider sense went all wacky, and he got Daredevil's help to kind of deal with it. Uh, where it's like it's way stronger now. And then also, Daredevil has been having problems with his senses. I told you this, he's in the comics. He's fighting a guy right now who he can't sense. That's the
Yeah,
whole thing about this villain. And like he goes to Spider-Man, the New York superhero in red with heightened senses, and they workshop it through together. Like
that's
maybe
cool.
that was a little bit of like uh, synergy, and if it was, that's the kind of it should be.
Yeah,
Where it's like, oh, Spider-Man's like if we're because it kind of seems like we're going to be doing a Secret Wars thing. That's like a mixture of both Secret Wars if they're out in space. So like if the next movie is Black Suit Spider-Man,
God, don't be.
you don't. I think if you're gonna do it, just do it like the comics, where it's like he thinks it's a cloth suit for a while. I don't need it to be an alien right off the bat. I don't want it to look slimy and icky.
Well, see, I think that's the
And
issue is
maybe
that I
even
think they're
just
going to do.
maybe it's not even like he doesn't even remove the suit at the end of the movie.
See, I think that's the issue though, is that because every time they do a black suit, it's always the same movie.
I mean, this movie was great. So
Yeah, I don't know.
and
We'll see.
Tom Holland has talked about like he kind of pushed around his muscle way more on this movie than he has before. Where he like on a bunch of stuff like put his foot down and was like no, we're gonna like film the script. We're not like he kind of like it really seems like he did a Nolan movie and was like, oh, this is how movies are made.
Yeah,
Whoa. And
they
like
learned all the good things from the Nolan movie.
yeah, and he came back to the Sony Marvel set and was like, that's how we're doing it. Where you have a script and you film the stuff in the script. You don't film like a bunch of like random shit because you're gonna change a bunch of stuff in post.
Yeah,
Like and so like I'm very confident in Spider-Man going forward.
I hope so too. I uh kind of going back over to that final fight as well. One thing that
Oh yeah, I liked it.
I I because I want to talk about the future and everything as well, but I really wanted to bring this up because especially near the end of the movie when they're doing the final
We
fight
have
stuff,
been
I was
going
like,
for 20 minutes for over 2 hours. So
"Ooh, that's also this Discord call." So,
my movie
um,
was 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
oh, oof. All right, we'll try and wrap it up here. Um, the end of this movie very much felt like he just played the Spider-Man game and was like, "We're gonna do that." Like they got the electric batons, they had the blasters or like giant rocket things that kind of like disrupted the webs. He had the web bombs. Like I was like, there's a lot that just kind of take. And granted, like he's
A
done stuff like that in the
Spider-Man
comics.
with like Spider-Man gadgets, not instant
Yeah.
kill mode.
Yes. Yes. Thank God. Yeah. Hate the Iron Spider suit still to this day, and that was such a dumb thing to put in. Even
Why
if
did
it
you
was like,
mention?
haha,
Because it's
funny
in his
callback.
homecoming suit.
Yeah.
Tony Stark, what the fuck, man?
No, literally. Again, it in Spider-Man movies, Tony Stark is just like a fucking murderer, killmonger who's like, I'm gonna make sure you have the ability to kill whoever you want, Peter. And it's like in his Iron Man movies, he's like, I never want to make another person lose their life because of a creation I made. It's set
He's
for
like,
this
I'm not making
14-year-old.
weapons. Yeah, I'm not making weapons anymore, and all the machines I make are gonna be like I'm going to use them because like I can be responsible with them and their armor. They're not weapons. They're armor, right? I'm going to give this kid a thing that'll kill anybody he wishes, and it won't
Yeah,
question him on it.
yeah. But it was very cool. There's a lot of fun moments. I also think because at the end, yeah, like uh, Jean kind of awakens more of her power, and she kind of freezes a lot of New York, and so Punisher is like, "Oh, this isn't good," and so he sets up like a sniper spot to like sniper, which crazy shot by the way. Like
Dude hit the trick shot. The fucking
he
screen
really
went
did because
crazy
like
when he hit it. He put the fucking phase montage sounds over it,
because
and then
I
fucking
want to say
Spider
because
Man's in the background.
it's like 'cause he lays down and it's like you look at the building and like you just see like the white of the building.
You even see it like through the scope, and it's like she would be so small.
Yeah, and it's like I don't even think like real life snipers could take this shot.
Yeah,
Um,
Chris Kyle wishes.
Chris Pratt wishes a lot of things, um, but yeah, he mates this shot and like at the last second. I'm not gonna lie to you because whenever like she's like stopping everyone, she kind of goes stronger on Spider Man because he's like been able to kind of walk through it. Um, because he's kind of been like his spider sense is protecting him from the mind control. And because he's channeling the spider of him, he's like his spider sense is even more powerful. Which, by the way, the scene where he's fighting the hand and he's literally just kind of starts dodging everything. I was like, oh, this is a
It's
game changer. Like,
yeah,
I should,
it's like Neo versus Agent Smith for the first time.
yeah, I was like, I should never see this man get hit again.
Like if he gets hit, it's got to be like
Because
Endgame
they,
Captain America.
yeah, but yeah, no, she's like, oh, like you still think I can't get in your mind, and he's like, go ahead. And we've been seeing this scene where Aunt May is kind of talking to him. And it seems like it's set during Homecoming because he's got the Homecoming suit.
Yeah, it's
Um,
probably a little bit after Homecoming, before Far From Home. Seems to be kind of where it fits in.
yeah. Um, and it's a little nice moment where she basically says everything he needs to hear. and everything Jean needs to hear as well. And because she has taken over his mind, she's kind of placed herself in that role in his memory. And you see, because in this movie, Jean Grey's mom abandoned him, or abandoned her and her sister. Um, you see, like she kind of longs for that maternal feeling. And when she puts herself in this memory, Aunt May's talking to her, and it's really nice, and it kind of helps her realize where she's gone wrong. It's a very talk no jutsu if you're a fan of Naruto moment, but it's like a good talk no jutsu. But like you hear this noise down the hallway of this like giant room in his mindscape, and I'm not gonna lie to you, when that happened, I was like, no, they're not doing Man Spider. Like, I thought a giant spider would start crawling. I really, for a second, I thought it was going to be a giant spider crawling down the hallway after them, and
In
it
the
was going to be like
first
him
like
finally.
10 minutes of the movie.
I
This
didn't
is what's
realize how
happening.
long we were in there. I didn't realize how long we were in there, and so I was just like, I was like, oh, this is him like finally overcoming the spider, and it's gonna be like him like shutting that part out. Also you have to understand. I go into a lot of these Marvel movies, and I don't expect good. I expect decent to bad. So when they're good, I'm like actually very happy. Because I do expect better. It's a multi-trillion dollar company, and they'll put out slop and be like, "You want to see what we did with AI?" And it's like, no. I want you to like pay your workers. I want you to like actually make good movies. I want you to actually shoot a movie to a script like we've talked about. Um, but no, yeah, you hear the shot and it turns out it's actually Frank taking the shot and he's trying to snipe her. And Spider-Man in the last second moves her and he gets hot. He gets hit with the bullet. And it's very Spider-Man Civil War. Civil War? No, is it Death of Spider-Man
When
Ultimate Spider-Man?
those are like it is some sort of Punisher bringing him to the
Is it?
hospital, holding him,
Oh, okay, I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if that happened
and
in
it's
Civil
Civil
War as
War. It's
well.
after his fight with Iron Man.
That's right,
He
yeah.
brings him in. He's like,
And so
"My
yeah,
medic."
yeah, so yeah, Punisher carries him, and he's like, it's a really good moment because again, it's what I was talking about, like Punisher actually having a character arc, because he sees this like kid, and he's taking care of him, and he gets him to the hospital, and like it's a good moment where like he's stood by his side the whole time he's been like in recovery from being shot. Which also that man hauled ass to get over there,
Yeah.
because it was like at an island between the islands of New York, and he was like,
Like I,
it it, it,
it's almost
it
like
comes in.
does he have like the Just Cause gauntlet?
Well, uh, he talked about like yeah, I've been watching it, and it's a really good moment where like the city of New York is like holding on for Spider-Man, and it's a you because you've seen Spider-Man saving people and helping people and all sorts throughout the movie, and you
And
see some
New York
appreciation,
likes
but
Spider-Man very explicitly in this movie.
yeah, but then at this point you see they don't just like Spider-Man, they love Spider-Man. Like it, I kind of got teary-eyed on it. It was a really good moment, and like yeah,
Especially when
everyone's
he's leaving the
cheering.
hospital and he's able to
Oh
like
God,
like
yes,
bask in it a little bit and realize all the good
yeah.
he's done.
Yeah, it's kind of like in Spider-Man 3 where he swings up and he sees everyone cheering for him and he's like, "They love me. They really love me."
Yeah.
But he
And then
doesn't
he doesn't go and
yeah,
brag about
become
how
an
his
ass.
girlfriend who had the worst day of her life.
Yeah. But yeah, and this one, yeah, and it's kind of funny because Punisher's like, "Hey, let me know when you want to get out of here because I got a plan." And it's absolutely funny because he throws on some civvy clothes because since Punisher's been like protecting him, they don't know what he looks like under the mask.
That's the thing.
And so Peter,
I think you probably should have just kept the mask on him anyways.
yeah, because I was kind of thinking of that one comic where he does get shot and the same thing kind of happens, but he still has the mask on. But
When New York
I'm fine with
protects him enough not to take the mask off. And the
yeah,
Punisher does say like, "Oh, don't worry, I took care of it" or whatever. So like, maybe it's like he put the mask on if a doctor had to come in or something.
yeah,
But like I said, like
but
really
it's
this movie
it's
is
a
good. It's just nitpicks.
yeah, no, absolutely, it's absolutely nitpicks. Um, but yeah, it's a beautiful moment. He walks out in the crowd, everyone's cheering for him, and then fucking Punisher throws on the mask and gloves, and he's like waving to the crowd. And they're like, "It's Spider-Man, he's okay," and they're all cheering for Spider-Man.
And he
And then it
throws
cuts
the
to
flip
inside.
hands in the window.
Yeah, but it cuts to inside the building, and he's in the mask and gloves with his Punisher gear. And he's like,
That's the sound he makes when he's excited.
yeah,
Like
it really is. It's like John Berthel. Do you have? It is his like. It's
he's
like a.
got the
It's
nasal
like a.
passages of a pug. That's the sounds he makes.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful moment.
Mm.
And
The
end of the
kid maybe
movie,
realizes he's Spider-Man, maybe doesn't. Maybe he
yeah,
tries
because
to
he sees them.
whip into the guy.
Yeah, he sees him and he kind of makes a little throw at him, and Spider-Man throws with bad. It's a cute moment. It's a really beautiful moment. Um, but like at the end of the movie, Peter sees him dead out in public, and he goes and introduces himself. And as he goes to like shake his hand, they do their old handshake. And as he does it, he's like, "Peter," which part of me doesn't like that and does at the same time.
I feel like he
It's a
introduced himself as
because
Peter before he did that.
well, no,
So yeah, he did.
well, so yeah,
In
introduced
the
himself as
in the copy shop. He's like,
yes,
"Hey, I'm
yeah, in the
Spider-Man."
coffee, yes, but because whenever he first
What
shows up
coffee
in the
shop?
party
Bodega.
scene,
They're in a bodega.
yeah, they're in a
It's
bodega,
the same place he bought flowers.
yes, uh, in the party scene that we've seen from the trailers where it's like, oh, friendly neighbor, um, in that one he introduced himself as Maynard.
It's
Um,
me, nerd.
he introduced himself as Maynard, um, and
It's a shame they
then
didn't do
later,
Ben.
yeah, no, I really thought they were gonna do Ben. Um, but then later, whenever they introduce, or whenever MJ learns his real name later, as he's about to leave, she's like, "Peter, be safe," and she swings away, and Ned's like, "Spider-Man's real name is Peter,"
Yeah.
and so I think they kind of left themselves
Well,
some leeway
yeah, it's
because,
ambiguous enough that
yeah, because like whenever he does it, and he's like, "Peter," because yeah, Peter introduced himself, and they do the handshake, and then he's like, "Peter." It almost seems like you can either go with A, him doing that has kind of reawoken the memories, or B, he's put it together and he's like, wait a minute, Spider-Man's name is Peter.
Spider-Man.
This guy's beast Peter.
Yeah.
He was back at the party, and now he knows this handshake that I know. Spider-Man. So
Yeah.
it left it open, and I liked it. It was a really nice moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, if you like Spider-Man, you will like this movie. If you loved the last three, you're gonna love this one even more. If you didn't even like the last three, you're going to enjoy this one.
Yeah.
It's a
Like it's kind
fantastic
of
movie.
crazy how much a director can change.
Yeah,
You know?
it's almost like when you put the right team behind a project, people want to make a good piece of work. And we've been blessed with Fantastic Four. We've been blessed with uh, Thunderbolts, and now Spider Man. Let's hope and pray that Doomsday doesn't go to shit and Secret Wars, but we will see. Also, speaking
Maybe
of
we'll get to
Secret
help
Wars,
take
and
out the big mountain in Secret Wars. Maybe we'll get
that'd be
that.
cool.
Now they use
But
big bulk.
one thing that was interesting as well is that in the end credit scene where it shows him like Spider Man's leaving Earth, it just says Spider Man will return.
Yeah.
It doesn't say
I think that probably
Doomsday
means
in
Secret
Secret
Wars,
War.
but not Doomsday. Is what I had. If I
That's
had
what
to
I'm
guess.
thinking too. I'm thinking
Either
that
that,
too.
or he's only got like a super small part in Doomsday, and they don't want to be like, "He'll return in Doomsday," when he's like
Yeah,
there for like 2 minutes.
which is interesting because we haven't seen Star Lord in any of the promotional work, but they've said that he would be in Doomsday. So it's like that, or maybe they just forgot they did that. Um, I will say, I'm not gonna lie to you. Whenever he was in the coma and like Jean Grey was keeping him alive using her powers, I really did think they were gonna just leave him there, and that's why he wasn't gonna be in Doomsday.
Mm,
But
nah, it's too good of a
yeah,
movie to do that.
true, true. But
There's,
like we said, go watch it,
yeah.
have fun, support your local. I say local, support your
Support
theater.
your big box theater. Uh,
Yeah,
they've already outcompeted all the local theaters, so you don't have to worry about that. It's what it is now. If you
but
have a local
don't
theater,
let
great. You're probably in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, Nebraska. It's probably a Cinemark subsidiary, anyways.
true. But
Go get an
at
icy
the
cold.
very yeah,
They sell
get a
s'mores
drink.
now at Cinemark.
Ooh, I don't like that.
They're in like a little fridge. Like,
Oh yeah, those I've seen those. But yeah, enjoy the movie. Go support theaters. Watch in theaters. It's worth the watch. Um, and if you're in theaters, don't be an asshole. Don't pull out your phone.
yeah,
Don't
don't bring
record.
a baby that cries.
Dude,
I
okay, no,
swear.
that happened. That happened to me. That happened to me, dude.
It happened to you
It
too,
was like, yes,
brother. I'm sorry,
yes,
and it's like baby's completely quiet. I don't even notice it until like he starts getting like the organic webs, like around there. And he like wakes up on the side of the building and stuff. And the baby starts
I
getting fussy, and I'm like, just take it out. Just
yes,
just be a
it
normal
wasn't. It
fucking
wasn't.
human being and take it
It
out of the
wasn't at
room.
that moment, but yes, no, literally the same. I
And
think
I'm just
for
sitting there
us,
going shh 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 shh. And it's like you're
yes,
just as loud as the baby at this point.
yes,
Just
no,
leave.
yes, yes. No, literally, yeah, the baby started crying, and they were like trying to like quiet it and like everything. It's like okay, fine, you can try for a little bit, but if it doesn't like stop soon, take it out of the
Yeah,
theater.
I get it.
But they kept they kept like because I understand it sucks. You might not be able to get a sitter. You want to watch this movie, but like you're gonna ruin it for everyone else.
Like I said, I saw it 12:40 on a Thursday. You're doing it like Friday night or something. I get it. You're like, oh, this is like a middle of the day on a work day. I'll bring my kid. It'll be fine. At some point, you just have to be the. This is what I get for bringing a baby to a movie. Like
Yeah,
that's for all the for all the good of like not having to pay for a babysitter. You run the risk of baby gets loud and you need to leave theater and you miss 5 minutes of the movie.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's the risk
And
you're
thankfully,
running, and you have
they
to do it.
they they did that, but it was like after the baby was
But
already
they didn't do
screaming
it.
and crying. Oh, see, mine it was screaming and crying, and then they like after it went on for like maybe a couple of minutes, they then walked out of the theater, and I was like, thank you.
Our
Like,
baby never started crying. It was like about to start crying for like 15 minutes.
oh,
It was
see, no,
just like
mine was
it was
crying.
like and then the fucking dad or mom was like shh shh it's okay shh it's okay it's okay shh, and it's like keeps going like that, and I'm like, you just gotta leave, and then eventually
Oh
she
yeah, no,
shuts up
see,
and I don't hear her crying
ours
anymore.
ours was like it was doing like the like and then it was like okay, and then they kind of got it to stop, and then I think because it was like during the like I think it was like the Hulk fight
Mm.
with Punisher that it was just like started screaming and crying, and I was like, bro, take it out. This is what we wanted to see. This is the part.
Really?
But
And honestly, do you know what
yeah,
was more annoying than the baby? The
huh.
people to my left got food delivered to their seat like 5 times. I swear to God. I'm sitting there, and it's like right before the film starts. It's like Tom Holland comes up and he's like, we did this for you guys. Thank you so much. And they get something delivered. And it's in a bag. I'm not paying attention. I'm like, okay.
Also like five
And then
times.
like yeah, and then like ten
You're like
minutes later,
ordering during the movie.
yeah, like 10 minutes later, they get like a bunch of candy delivered, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then again, they get a Pizza Hut delivered, like maybe half an hour after that. And
Crazy.
they keep doing it. And I'm like, what do you just buy the shit first?
Yeah, yeah. Don't do that.
We're sitting in a seat. You can buy a bunch of shit and then just sit it in your lap. And
Be
then it
kind.
stays there.
Be humane. Uh,
Don't be
and
fucking
don't be an
annoying in
asshole.
movie theaters.
Yeah, but please don't watch it in theaters.
Yeah. Be
and
quiet. You better put your fucking phone on silent. Do not
and
disturb that shit. And don't pull it out in the middle to like watch Instagram reels or something. I didn't have that this time, but I had that when I watched Supergirl. So like, don't have your phone out during a movie.
just go there to watch the movie and silence your phone.
There's
Follow the
one time
prompts
you're
that the
allowed to
screen
pull out your
tells you.
phone, and that's right before the movie starts, so you can check that yes, it was 40 minutes of fucking trailers.
But other than that, thanks for tuning in. This has been Issues with Issues, and we'll try to be better. See you next time.